Raider 895. Everybody coming in here, welcome to the show. And as always, we are here to bust that matrix. Hey, Lavola, everybody coming in here, welcome to the show. And as always, we are here to bust that matrix. Hey, Lavola, good to see you. Warmer out here in the Northeast. So, hey, Lucas Jackson, good to see you. Warmer out here in the Northeast. So, hey, Lucas Jackson, good to see you. Joan, good to see you. And let me see, we got Ozzy, Jersey for Life. Let's see, Lawrence. All the folks out there, Moonwalker, Jersey for Life. Let's see, Lawrence. All the folks out there, Moonwalker 33. Hey, Casey, welcome to the show. And just like people, if you're new to the show, this is what this is. The one thing here on TikTok, Christina, good to see you. Everybody in there here on TikTok. Christina, good to see you. Everybody in there. Let's see, you are timing out badly. Wow. Badly. Wow. I turned the Wi-Fi off, so don't know if that's a good thing or not, but we are trying to, in New York City. When's that happening? That's something I'd like to see. CmdrAleon in New York. I'd love to see that, Julie. That would be really cool. Good evening, Moonwalker. Same to see you, Star Sister. Lots of glitching. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. That's really weird. Facebook's probably glitching too, but there seems to be a lot of that happening. Hopefully that will kind of clear up. Hey, Starseed Ambassador, got to have Starseed on here. My friend out there in the northwest. Hey, Starseed, good to see you, sister. Good to have you with us. Yeah, so I heard that Half Pint was on live attacking me. I haven't been able to see that, but it's a shame if that's what she was doing, considering I've always supported their work and their contact information. Really. Hey, Lupita, good to see you. And Chauncey Ambassador says, I get on just a bit. I can explain what's going on with the teeth. Interesting. Hey, Notorious, good to see you. Cleo. I'm just reading comments here. So we're definitely seeing an energy situation on this planet. And I can tell you, from my perspective, there's a lot of stuff. Hey, dude, good to see you. Light Soul 444. And like I've always said recently, that you're going to start seeing the energy shift between people on this planet in general that are going to be doing what they're doing. Yeah, see, and I gave her so much support. And to hear this is really a shame. It's a shame and it's sad that Half Pint would go that far. And I've supported the work they've been doing. And we're doing pretty good. So they got a little bit of explaining to do. There's a lot of things going on, Starseed. There's definitely a lot of crazy stuff going on. But we stand in our, hey, look, I was on this afternoon. And I couldn't believe how adults acted with each other. I purposely went on to see how things would happen, but they don't realize that people, they think they have a majority of people, the people that are attacking. They don't have a majority. They're exposing themselves as being not positive, and the way people are acting is very unbecoming of people that are in the community of the thing called UFO. Yeah, the ego is totally out of control. Yeah, I was on earlier today on a live. I purposely went in to see. I knew there was going to be something happening. I purposely went in to see the reaction, and boy, I'll tell you. And it showed people's true colors. So beware, there are people out there that are not the way they say they are. And yeah. But I know that we're still doing our thing. You know, we still do the truth of what we're talking about on the subject. And we're, the last thing we're going to do is let people that are being negative be negative anymore. We're going to go and totally go after those people. And we have a lot of people, hundreds of them, that know what's going on. And those people are showing their true colors in, some people have some explaining to do. So we're definitely, picking, kind of looking at things in a way that I'm really looking at things. Yeah, it looks like I am doing something right, because it's amazing the attacks that are going, on here. Yeah, Pulse, I am a Dr. Greer fan. I really do. I'm actually, I met him years ago, and I do like what he's doing. He's one of the first people that actually had the guts to go out and try to bring everything together. He's been really committed to the work. Reddit on Google. Hey, Outdoorist. Yeah, they're trying to do that, Swaggy. That's true. And the fact is, if they were really, truly interested in the whole subject in the true way, they'd be talking about that. Yeah. Oh, yeah. These people show their true colors, and I've been in this thing for many years. They were all jumping on me at once. There was like a free for all, and but I stood my ground. But I do what I do. Oh, there was so many lies being said about me. It was like unbelievable. It was like a bunch of vomit coming out on mouths out there. But anyway, just want to give you an update. We are here. We're doing what we're doing. We're going to continue doing what we're doing. We're going to tell the truth. We're going to speak the truth. We're going to share what I share. I'm not going to be a robot. I'm not going to be a follower of deception. The commander is going to do what he's going to do. And that's the way it's going to be, if you can dig it. Yeah, they were. They were taking shots like, it was almost like the shots were coming from everywhere. You know what I mean? I'm really glad that the space people have not landed on Earth yet. I'm really glad that the space people haven't gone onto Earth yet and landed, because if this is what's happening, it's not happening. Hey, Jared, good to see you. Yeah, I mean, I knew I was going to go into this live in the afternoon. I was doing it exactly on purpose, and boy, did that bring out who they really are. Thank you, Tricky Dick. Yeah, we're just we're going to kind of know those people, and we're going to be really, our people that are doing, people that are, moderators. We're going to look at that, and I'm telling you, on encounters, our ears are going to see things, eyes are going to see things, and we're going to just, put people and just block them, and those people will never be here again. I was a witness of a time for a short time. They're really out of normal. Everything, your work. Yeah, that's right. That's right, Mama. I did that on purpose, and I came in to say hello, and then all of a sudden I knew for sure that I was just waiting for this to start happening. And it just did what it had to do, Hey, Mama in Germany, good to see you. Hello, thank you. I stood my ground. There was so much garbage. I just was like, this is it, being a person that has, a large, order, not an order, but, kind of people that are here just having being a longtime creator, there's a lot of, it felt like you were in high school and you got about a bunch of bullies that are adults that should be old enough to know better. It was pretty weird. Yeah, a lot of jealousy for sure. Thank you, Nita. Good to see you. Thank you, Peggy. Not yet, but I am going to confront them because I got people knowing what's happening here. I don't understand why if Half Pint is joining that group. They should know better. Hey, Pete Star, good to see you. Yeah, Pete Star, I've known Pete Star a long time. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Hey, good to see you. Very good to see you. Oh, I went into a live today earlier during the day. I had some time. I purposely went on to see what would happen, and I just confronted some people, and they were being what you would say mean. I mean, I was getting people talking over each other, and it was hard to do that when you're people talking to each other to have a discussion. Yeah, so, but I have a lot of people, these people understand, I have a lot of people that are watching what's happening out there, so there you go. I didn't hear it, but other people have been watching what's happening. Thank you, Lynn. Yeah, I tried to hand it, as definitely I could, as professional as I could. And I just would stop talking because everyone was talking over each other. So it's like, okay, this is what's happening. All these people talking on top of each other. And yeah, it just wasn't happening. Thank you, Anita. The thing is, as I always said before, some of these people, like, they just didn't know about Ashtar and they didn't understand anything regarding Ashtar Command and what that is. So it was pretty interesting, but you couldn't really explain it to them because there's too many people talking all over each other. So, yeah. Yeah, Pete Star, I agree. I always speak the truth, the truth here. Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what's going on with those guys. No, I really don't need anything. I don't need any fundraisers. I don't need to have that. Relics, good to see you, sister. I really don't need anything. Um, yeah, it was. Yeah. Hey, Mike Truth, good to see you. And I'm feeling good. I definitely, as I always will say to myself, I'm totally well connected. I work in the Christed connection. I think I've been in this mission for a lot of years, and I'm not like a kind of somebody, a newbie that's gonna have things jump on over me. There's no ego. I do what I do. I'll continue to do what I do. But hey, look, this is what's going to happen on our planet. We're going to have a situation, which is a good example of what happened today in the microcosm of the whole thing, of people that are going to be truly of the light and people that aren't of the light. It's going to be either you are of the light or you're not of the light in the UFO community. Either you are or you're not. Oh, they called Half Pint a nasty name. Hey, Salty Dog, I saw you there. It was pretty weird. And that guy over in England who did all this spamming stuff and these videos that he did, and he wants me to come in his live and talk in his live. Nah, it's not happening. I'm too hip to what's going on. I'm not a fool for that kind of garbage. Yeah. See, these people know. A lot of good people were watching quietly what they did. And these people, they're going to be seriously serious. Serious is not serious, but they're going to be seriously serious. They're going to be seriously serious. Seriously serious. And I keep saying serious for some reason. I don't know what's going on here. Hey, Guardian, good to see you. Hey, Daisy Dog. Yeah, I was hoping I did it mature way. But man, I felt like I was a bunch of bullies in a school taking the whole thing on. But I just stood my Guardian, and Guardian, good to see you. I just served my strength, and I just stood my strength here. I didn't care. It's just one of those things. But they showed who they were. They showed who they are, and now people know these people are not good people. They're not. Yeah, it was an attack party. Yeah, And when they did that, the only thing they're doing is showing their true colors. And the second is a lot of people that might have been on that thing watching are going to watch me tonight, and they're going to see that the commander is definitely a good person, and that we do shows here that deal with the subject of ufology and a spiritual level. And I'm not some new person that's trying to figure out what this is all about. And I do things way differently than it is. Yeah, that's right, Pete Starr. Yeah, that's right, Accidental. That's absolutely true. Acid TV had a live, and these people were on his live, and it got out of control. Yeah, I think so, Daniel. Maybe they are acting out of envy. They also said people will come who make this information. Hey, Tara, good to see you, sister. Yeah, it was good to be there, Tara, when I was in there, man. I went in there very, positive. I want to say hello. Someone said, like, why are you there? I said, well, I just want to come and say hello. The hello opened up all this stuff that was going on. Man, it was crazy. But it's okay because we're here. Yeah. Hey, Jackie, good to see you. Yeah. Hey, Karen. Oh, thank you. Hey, Karen, good to see you. Jersey for life. Thank you. Thank you, Leon. Thank you, Pixel. Yeah, well, I'll never go into one of those lives because it's not worth it. I gave them a chance to be kind, and it's not worth it. Yeah, I believe that too, Pete. The Ashford Command will reveal themselves in the end. It is here. I believed it deeply. Thank you so much, J74. Let's see. Hey, Roach and Bell, good to see you. It did keep out the energy pretty quick. Yeah, they can't stay too long with the light. Okay, Karen, that'd be great if you DM me. But we know the ones that are doing this garbage. Anyway, we're all here. Welcome to the show. I've been doing this thing for about 3 years, and hey, look, when these things are going to start happening, you're going to, this whole thing with the whole UFO situation, the whole concept of the government lying about the public for over 70 years. all that stuff happening. Lisa, thank you. Rachel, thank you. The good news is there are a lot of good people out here. You see, we've got the numbers. We have the numbers of good people out here all over the world that have been here quietly watching the show, who know that the interviews we've had, matter of fact, I got 4 more shows that I'm downloading on YouTube that we're going to have all downloaded. I can't believe I had a few backlogs here, but I'll have all the shows on the YouTube, Ashtar Command, Spaceship News, and you'll see those other shows downloaded. I'm now going to be backlogged by 1 more program as well. Sad57, thank you. Yeah. Hey, Daisy Dog, seriously serious. Yeah, yeah. True, Pete. Thank you, Jared. Yeah, it's definitely 100%. Definitely accidentally. Yeah, Mike Truth. Yeah, the low vibration was certainly there. Sandy Allen, I don't know what's going on, but my tapping won't go through. I think TikTok is having some technical problems. Yeah, they're trying to go after me too. The problem is they're going after the wrong person, you see, and they'll be exposed for who they are. Well, they just sort of did the exposure, expose the other earlier today. And then there were people saying, how'd you get your name Camp Commander? So I tried to teach these people what commander means. It was quite amazing, Yeah, that's right. Hey, Jeannie. It's slander. They won't even try to talk to you. They don't want to talk to me. They just want to do their thing. Yeah, they definitely will get their karma. Yeah, that's true. They're messing with the wrong person. And the thing is, if they keep playing that game, I got hundreds of people that will report them if they do something ridiculous. Hey, I think Shaktris, do you call yourself commander without the credit? Never served. Well, it's not the word as we have on Earth, like you'll hear commander of a military thing or whatever. Right, a commander of my own life. I tried to explain to them that commander is the spiritual, connection. That I'm totally individual. Commander means I'm a spiritual cosmic being of light. I totally do what I do. No one controls me. I'm not part of a group mentality. I never will be. And I do what I do. And that's when I use the term, we're here to bust the matrix. So there are different things. There's a difference between, on the Earth, we call people, I'll thank you to meet that commander who's in the Air Force or a military commander or someone in the Department of Defense. When we use the word commander, I'm saying I'm control in my spirituality. I'm control of who I am. And I will always bust the matrix and be who I am. Different than the actual definition of what we used on our planet. Good checklist. I'm glad you mentioned that. So that's the difference. That's right. Let's see. I'm not sure where it started from, but the group of people, Moonwalker, they just exposed themselves. I went on there to get them to expose themselves, and these people are not who they are. We're going to bring Star Knowledge, my friend, on here, and we're going to bring Eddie on here. The one thing I love about this show is when I bring people on, we have mature discussions. We bring the interviews on here, and we always talk about the truth. Hey, Eddie, good to see you, brother.
Hey, Good timing.
Good timing and things. I was just explaining. I purposely went on this live today with somebody, and all these people with negative energies just shot out like they just were like the light just like took them in, and they just were going, let's go, let's go on, let's go. And I was like, oh, this is not how it's going to work. So everyone was talking over each other. I'm saying, oh, this is really good, isn't it? So I purposely did what I did to see how the energy was going to hit me,
Oh yeah.
and I'm fine. I feel great. You
That's
can't.
that's the that's the key. That's the key. We when you discover when you finally discover that it's like and that's why you are the commander. Like everybody here understand that if you really start to take control and take command of your words, your heart, your emotions, and all these things, you are the commander of your life. Your word is your command. Like literally, we're in a time right now where everything that you feel, if you don't take control of it, if you don't take charge of it, uh, then you're a slave to it. So don't be a slave to it. Learn how to what is that word? To be to to own it, to own
Right.
your emotions. Even if you're sad, be sad. If you're happy, be happy. But don't try to fight it or resist it. Just feel it and go. And then learn from those things so you can put them aside. It's like I saw this guy a long time ago that he was talking about. It was like these Zen teachings, and he says he learned a powerful lesson from his son, and it was his son's birthday. And this guy does all these Zen teachings. He was doing them on YouTube, and he
Hmm.
says it was his son's birthday, and his son was opening all his toys and stuff and all his presents, and he one of the kids grabs one of his toys and one of his new toys and starts playing with it, and he says, no, 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 you can't play with it. And the dad says, son, you need to share your toys. He said, we teach you how to share. And he said, but dad, it's not mine yet. And he stopped and he went, and he got a really new teaching, and it was he wanted he wanted to play with them first and then interact with them, put his energy into them, own them, and then he would share. He had no problem sharing,
Yeah.
but he said, and that's when the dad understood that owning your emotions, owning your mental state, owning, if you lie, own the lies, and make those things right in your life, not for the sake of others, for the sake of yourself. Own your emotions, own these feelings. So once they become yours, once you own them, you can put them away, or you don't have to utilize those emotions for some kind of particular gain that's karmic, that you don't. And I've been dealing with this, oh my gosh, I think the last week has been, I've just been seeing people just trying to manipulate and not uh,
Hmm.
own their stuff.
Hmm.
And I'm watching all these videos of these people going, we're in this like extinction level of understanding that if we what we're witnessing in politics, everything is falling apart, and I'm going,
Right.
I
Everything
knew
is
it.
falling apart, Eddie. Everything.
Yeah,
From the
yeah,
politicians to right here on TikTok, it's showing things are being revealed. The people are revealing, they can have the nice, cozy little cosmic names, and they're say, my name is so and so. And then when they speak outside of the cover, they reveal the negativity out of their energy, and they're not that beautiful looking name. They're the complete opposite of that name, and therefore, folks, they're showing the complete negativity of energy that is exploding out of their being. You
yes.
know, I mean,
I'm not a positive person. I'm not a positive person. a cruel person. I'm not any of those things. But what I'm realizing is that, like, uh, positivity is what I choose,
Yeah.
right? So when people, because I've had people badmouth me before and
Yeah.
about, you think that you're like above me, and I go, no, we're all the same. And
Right.
I can prove it. I could be a jerk. I could be mean. We could be mean. We
We
can
all
say some
can
bad
be,
things.
right? It's we're human, right? So we
We're
can
human.
have we're having the human experience, right? So we came here. You see, if you tell somebody I came from somewhere else, I said, "What do you mean you came from somewhere else? How'd you get here?" That's the primitive consciousness saying in the 3D world, well, how'd you get here, though? How did you get here? I mean, who is this Ashtar? What is Ashtar? Was it a club? I love this. I love years ago, I've met people say, how do you join the thing called the Ashtar Club? I said,
Hmm.
what? How do you join this club? You don't have to join any club. There's no earth-based related club that anybody made. See, this is where people don't who say that it's their ignorance of understanding of what the Ashtar command is, which has been around for billions of years. But if they take the time to learn and ask the questions, they might learn something, And it's funny. And these people have all these really cool names, but then they have no idea what's happening. They have no idea what it is.
Yeah.
But I've studied the command for years. I'm involved, and I've met my beautiful friend Ashtar Athena, who's been with all the different. She's known all the people in the contactee movement. Many of these people now, they were at Giant Rock. She was there with those people in Giant Rock in the desert. She's still alive. She's in, I think, near her 80s. She's a beautiful person, and I learned a lot from her, and that's how I was able to get an understanding of the history.
Mhm.
And and the UFO community thinks that things have to be a specific way. I'm not playing that game. If
No.
I am a talk show host, which I've been in radio and TV, you mean to tell me I cannot be a starseed? I can't be somebody who's connected
Oh
with space
no.
beings?
Oh
Is
no.
that the way it is? I'm being, what I'm doing. So I'm like, I can't be this person. I have to be a specific symbol. I have to
Right.
act a certain specific way in the UFO community.
Right. It's
Hey, Morker, thank you so much.
we're part of the 144,000. So there's only 144,000 of us.
Hmm.
So since we're part of the 144,000 club, we're going to be the ones who ascend. It's always the spiritual. You get to these spiritual understandings, and it starts off with the little small.
Right.
We're this smart, and then all of a sudden we gain a little bit of insight, and then we go, oh, 144,000. I must be part of them because I have spiritually ascended that far. Like
Yeah.
I haven't even jumped off the ground yet. But now I said, as I grew and I said 144,000, and I started looking at what the 144,000 was, and it was, this mathematical equation of our star beingness. And I go, oh, well, that means I'm not special anymore. That means we're all 144,000. That's not. And
Right.
just when I thought I was special, and it always humbles me to remember, that we are all, it's the Christ consciousness that exists within all of us, and just if anybody is people, because people have asked here, they said, well, how do you get to that Christ consciousness? And it's like, well, what did Christ say to do? Like start with the basics, start by
Yeah.
loving one another and taking care of one another and lending your ear and sharing love and being generous and those are the steps that will get you to turning water into wine, to healing the sick, to raising the dead, to walking on water, to and more and more and more you
Yeah.
know and that's that I've because it's I always I have 1,000 stories, and I have people around me that I know they have 1,000 too, and instead of sharing their stories and I'm sharing my stories, they go, and after a while I'm going, I should probably stop, because they probably think that I think that I'm special. But I just like to share. I like to
Yeah.
share about, I mean, I have hundreds of amazing stories, but I don't want people to think that I'm beyond. I would just say that I'm a little further in the steps. That's all.
Hmm.
I've just
Yeah, that's all
taken
it is.
steps. That's all.
And you know what? The beautiful thing is, everybody that who's watching here, from whatever country you're in, it makes no difference. We're all learning things here. The only difference I have is I've taken more steps over the years since I was a kid in the '60s. I had more time to take more steps. If you're in your 20s and 30s, you're still taking your big steps as well. We're all taking steps, and I've always said that nobody's better or worse than the other person. Always, you know, I'm not like some Hollywood star, nor would I ever want to be one. I would still be the same person 3 years before to who I am now. I'm consistently going to be the same person. I'm going to have the human emotion like the same person. We're human, but we also have the ability to be in cosmic consciousness. When we are in cosmic consciousness in the UFO community, it's a little bit different than just being a person interested in UFOs in the sky. And here are the Dior bags that are coming, and here's these things coming, and here's those things coming. You know, we're much more awake than we have been over the last 70 years in the subject. I think that we are going through major changes, and you can see it the way people react with people in politics on the planet, in the spiritual community, in the UFO community. Everything is coming to a head. Mother Earth is shaking things up too. We have the Ring of Fire. These things are going to be shaking up. When we don't talk about it much, but the Ring of Fire is real. What is the Ring of Fire? We know what it is. If you don't know what it is, study the Ring of Fire. The volcanoes, the earthquakes, all these things. Not only is the Mother Earth shaking things up, she's shaking things up for a reason. This planet has a lot of garbage that was thrown on it for billions of years, especially in this current lifetime. And that goes with consciousness too. Bad karma, good dharma. Bad karma, good dharma. So when we understand the good dharma, we also know that the Mother Earth is tired of having all this poison put into her consciousness, and she's going to shake things up. Exactly what she's going to do. Whether people are ready for it, that's going to happen. I've been listening to current communications, Daryl Anka. He has a channel on here from Bashar, his organization, and I've been listening to his latest things about contact. He's Bashar of the Society talks about contact coming soon, and I think again that's one source of information. It's not the only source. I think we have many different ways to look at this. That we are coming into a realm of contact. There are people within the Pentagon that are acknowledging the fact that something's going on. Why are they acknowledging it now? Because they know that even though these people are fighting within the Pentagon regarding the contact, this planet is coming towards contact. I don't care where you are, what you think you are. There's going to be contact.
Yeah.
I've been watching a lot of these different interviews on News Nation. They have this guy who does a show on UFOs on News Nation, and it's the only show basically on cable where they do talk about these things. So people, if I were to say how many people here feel something is going to happen, it's not because I say it's going to happen. What I say doesn't make any difference.
Mm-hmm.
If I talk to people right now here and they say to me, Commander, I've been feeling like something is getting ready to happen, we know that something is getting ready to happen because the collective is feeling the anxiety that something is about ready to happen.
That's right.
Would I be correct or incorrect, Eddie, on that?
Absolutely. I mean, there's, we're becoming something in our awareness. Our awareness is growing, and we're gonna feel things, and we can't allow ourselves to be superficial about it, because like, for example, there's a lot of things, wars and stuff going on, and a lot of people that are not here anymore in the same body, right? Their people are perishing. That's the kindest word I could use. So when I feel it, and and I felt it before, and especially when a lot of us in our growing patterns, we and then we feel like this feeling of dread, and then but instead of what I've done, instead of just feeling that feeling of dread, I say, what can I learn from this? And what has happened is my awareness grew to the point where when I came to the realization that there's no such thing as death. So that took me to the next level of awareness that I had to know. Now I got to try to understand what this next level is. And these souls that came here for this time. I mean, it's if we were all above the earth, like without disembodied consciousness above the earth, we'd say, wow, look at that party. That is wild. I mean, these humans are raging out, and all this stuff is happening. So more souls as they come in or come back
Mm.
are going to be born into the new consciousness. So, you know, it depends on where you are in your levels of awareness. Like, some people are in the, this stuff has to stop and there needs to be peace. And it's like, yes, but it takes a certain amount of awareness. The people that are launching missiles and doing all these things that are not for the good of humanity are not at those levels of awareness. Where they're
Mm.
at, they're still in levels of fear. They're in levels of anxiety and anger, and they don't know what to do with it. Saying they want to, they actually have love in themselves that says that they want to protect this country. They want to protect our people. They want to
Right.
just, there is a higher love in them, but they don't know how to access it without that level of fear or dread or anger.
Mm-hmm.
So it keeps them from a level of awareness because they haven't been able to let that go. So this
Yeah.
for us, we're going, we're a part of it too. We're existing in it with you, but we're gonna let that go so we can vibrate at the level of love that is going to be sustainable for us, for the level of our awareness, a level of our evolution, and so we can make contact so with our space family, so we can be at the same level with them, so we can have that contact with the peace in a peaceful nature.
Yeah.
Not where it's going to be like, I mean, if I it's like animals, if they sense fear, then they get anxious. Their tail goes between their legs, or they growl, or they fear bite, or they can feel it. And these these older beings that come around, and with higher technologies, they can feel it too, and
Yeah.
they don't want to be around us because they don't want to scare us. They
Right.
want us to be in peace and love, so we can have that communion. Whitley Strieber wrote that book, Communion, and
Communion. Yeah.
it was a wonderful book because he was talking about very something very similar.
Mm-hmm. Whitley. I met Whitley Strieber at a UFO conference many years ago. And he was very standoffish when I was trying to do an interview with him. He didn't want to do it. At
Yeah,
the same time I met him is when I met Colin Andrews on Crop Circles. Now, Colin Andrews is amazing. He's a friend of mine. And if you've read any of his books, he was one of the foremost people in the subject of crop circles in the days when that whole thing started happening in England. And I know Colin very well. He is incredibly intelligent, and he's written many books on the subject.
yeah,
And then with Strieber, he is an interesting character. I felt like his energy was slightly different, obviously, but he was not really much into doing an interview. I wanted to kind of pick his consciousness a little bit years ago. We never did it. I met Stanley Friedman, who was well known in ufology. I did a TV show with him. I still have the VHS tape. I met him many years ago, and he was quite an intriguing person. I met a number of people, including a person from France. Remember the movie Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
oh, yeah,
The person that was the real person, the French person, I got
yeah.
to sit down in a hotel with him and a colleague in the UFO area, and I talked to him about it, about what he knows. He was quite amazing. There's a lot of things I know, and I met so many interesting people over the years. But like you're saying, I think that we are, in a sense, having to figure out who we are. You have to kind of figure out, like, where are we going now? It's kind of a lost world right now, to put it lightly. We're living in a lost world on this planet. We have people that are totally confused about what's happening. We have crazy things happening on the surface of the planet. And now all of a sudden, we're having all these sightings that are happening all over the place. And a lot of people don't know what's going on here. They don't know what these things are that are showing up. Nobody has an idea what's happening. It is confusing. Let's face it. We're human beings having intergalactic things that are starting to happen. These orbs, these metallic objects in Colombia, South America, and other places in the world, they're saying, what's going on here? So that these space people that are invisible are on spaceships, and they're sending these probes down to Earth, like we would send a probe to Mars or something, like whatever, like a Land Rover. They're sending things to sense our energy levels. I think that's what they're doing. This is my own theory, is that the space people are looking at the vibrational sense of who we are. They're looking at our vibrational patterns as a planet. They're saying, are people ready for us? Right? And I can be completely wrong, but they're saying, are people on Earth ready for us to come here and introduce ourselves to humanity? Me personally, I don't think the public, honestly, in my opinion, they are not ready yet. Just yet, they're not ready. If they were, and they were fully ready, these space people would probably land in safe areas, in deserts, in places where it's not a big city area, and they'd make themselves known that way. I don't think that humanity is ready for contact. I know that just from the interactions I went through earlier today. I don't think humans are ready for contact. There are a lot of people here that are, but we have a planet in general, as a microcosm of our society. Our planet is certainly not ready for them to come down. I don't think they want to come down. That's why they're showing the probes to probe our energy frequencies.
Right.
They know the human consciousness. They know the human vibration. They know what humans are like. They've been watching us for a lot of years. They know that we created nuclear bombs. They know that scientists created things that can destroy life. They know our way of thinking. It doesn't mean that we're all people that are here to create bombs and create things that are violent and hateful and deception and jealousy. They know what we think like as human beings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Would you agree with me with my analysis of what's going on here?
Absolutely. It's the people that have had contact. Um, a lot of people think like you have to be at a certain vibration, and it's like, well, for certain contact, sure. If you're looking to have that cohesive, beautiful experience, then you have to be in a cohesive, beautiful space inside of you.
Right.
If you're not quite there, you may have not so much fun experience. And that, so don't call don't say you want to have an experience with our space family if you're not in a great emotional, mental state of being,
Mm-hmm.
because that is, it's a everything is a transmission. All of our emotions, all of how we think. So I know, if I was in an angry state, I would not want to say, "Hey, who's there? Show yourself." No,
Right.
no, 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 no. I want to be in a full loving heart space where it's going to send the transmission to our star family, and have those ones come that are loving and kind and here in peace, and to make that contact to say, "We just wanted to let you know we're here," or, "Hey, you want to go for a ride?" I'd be like, I think I'm ready. I think I'm ready for that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, that's what they're doing. That's why people are seeing all these orbs, translucent orbs over the oceans in New Jersey and other things happening, is because they are trying to kind of feel it out, what we're doing. Uh,
Oh, I said he was watching earlier.
I'm reading the comments here. You follow your instincts. Thank you for. I'm sorry I had to go through that, but I purposely went in there because I knew that was going to happen. I was trying to reveal these people for who they were, and their stuff when they were saying I'm scamming people and all the other lies. I wasn't scamming anybody. I've never done that. But that's what these people do when they reveal themselves. What we're talking about now, these people have, their nice little names, but it's the revealing of the cover of the book doesn't mean what's inside it is the same thing on the outside. If you see what I mean, people can say they are what they are and they're into this thing, and then all that negativity comes out of them and just takes over and controls their whole being. Yeah, that's what was happening. Follow your instincts, and you can see on my show here, I can have a conversation there was no way I could have an interaction because all this negative energy was like coming out of these people. It was like, but the good thing with me is I'm protected. I work in my consciousness. It's like one person battling 10,000 negativities.
Oh, right. Yeah, it's not even worth an effort at all.
It isn't worth the effort. No, it certainly wasn't.
In the native community, we learn about the spider, the spirit of the spider, the universal spider, is the Iktomi. So what we learn about from the Iktomi is that we learn that we're all creating this reality, and whatever the web is that we're spinning, which is, if it's full of negativity and full of this and full of that, it's like, well, as long as we know and we're aware of, I don't have to defend myself against people that are going to attack me because they're creating their own web.
Right.
That is a karmic web that will eventually get them caught more in their own. I've actually had people that have attacked me full on. I was the leader of this group that was anti-Eddie. Oh, and was UFO Mothership. She, when I was on Facebook, says, you got to come in this group because these people are talking some madness about you. And I said, oh, really? So she added me to a group chat.
Oh, wow.
And they were just going off. And I was like,
oh, man.
I thought you guys said you were my friends. I said, okay, I'm gonna back away from this. And later on, the leader of that group, Pete's like, I remember that. She was being attacked by someone else, and I saw it, and I messaged her, and I didn't know she was the leader of this, and I said, you should probably leave that person alone because they're going to attack you, and if it affects you in any way, it's going to not be very good, especially if you're connecting with that energy. And she's like, well, I know how to protect myself. I said, you can't protect yourself when you're engaging. If you've opened the gate and you're full of hate and they're full of hate, then they can throw daggers into that gate. So don't interact with this person. It's better if you just leave them alone. And then we became friends, and she was like, we started having these enlightening talks, and then she opened up and told me. She said, I was like full on anti-Eddie. I went, you? She's like, yeah, but you're just not what I thought. And I said, well, I'm glad that you took the time to get to know me versus what you've heard. And it was a beautiful thing that we're still friends to this day.
Yeah. Well, the good news is that we are now able to move on, and I was able to do an experiment and see how people would react. And so that's what that was for me. It was an experiment to see how consciousness works. Yeah. And I got to see it big time. So it's all good. I mean, I didn't come here knowing when I came live tonight that I'm going to have this terrible feeling in my, whatever. I just stand my ground, do what I do. We're going to talk about, contact. We talk about disclosure. We're going to talk about the things that we love talking about. And it's just a good thing here. We're able to, know now what we know, and we're going to have new friends and new people that will find us, and they do, because I know that there are people starting to follow us. I look at what's happening. So I'm very conscious in what's going on. I look at everything. And we know that we're reaching people, the people that need to be reached. They might be a first-time people, a person that we get to know, a beautiful thing, a loving thing. And that's the beautiful thing now, is that we will have real people that will come in here, and
Absolutely.
that's what I look forward. And I know who all the good folks are here. I know who
Right.
you are. And I
And
always will tell people, and I always say the word love. It's not like some prompter, like a teleprompter saying, okay, Commander, say the word love before you end your show.
right.
I love everybody.
Oh yeah.
I
Open that
have
gate of
to. I don't
love.
have to, but I do.
Right. Open the gate of love here, because the reason, like, I'm gonna tell everybody, because like I said, all of these energy wheels, chakras, they call them, they are gates. They are portals. Okay, literally inside of you, you have portals. You are a celestial being called a soul. You are a star being. Okay, and because you're a star being, you have these, in a human form, you have these portals. Now,
Right.
if you open up the portals with love, whether it's your mind, whether it's your heart, your voice, your gut, your emotions, when you open up these gates with love, when you open them all up, that's the highest octave, is love. Now,
Right.
and she says, love and light to all. Love is light. Light is information,
Right.
right? So when we go from just saying love, we have to understand that love will teach you, because love is light. We're sharing our light. So when you
Right.
share your light with other people, then you open yourself up, and then all of a sudden you have those epiphanies, you
Mm-hmm.
have those awarenesses, you have these inspirational moments where you're like, wow, I could do this. I can, yes, I can breathe easier. I can meditate easier. When I'm opening myself up to these portals, you become your own conduit. You
Yeah.
become, and so that's why they say breathe and meditate is not the first thing you learn is how to breathe and how to try to silence your mind. But the most important thing is to allow yourself to start to feel yourself, and you'll start to feel the vibration of your inner
Yeah.
being vibrating through your fingers, and you'll feel like a hum, like a tuning fork. All of a sudden you're just hold your hands out for a second, and as I'm talking, you can feel the vibration of my voice in your hands.
Yeah.
So anybody that's watching right now, just put your hands out like this, and I'm in the state of a
Right.
vibration of love. And if you tune into that, you will feel it, like my voice is a tuning fork. Can you feel it?
Right.
Just if you say yes, just if not, that's okay too.
And it's a wonderful thing, because this one person from overseas didn't like, I had him on a few nights ago. I didn't expect what I expected. He was all going nuts over my hand movements, the moving the hand. He didn't like the fact that I was moving. He didn't know what the hand movements meant. He
Yeah,
just knew that he saw me on this UFO show moving my hands, and he was going crazy. I'm saying, what the heck?
yeah.
And the other thing is, just for sake of reflection, whoops, let me see here. Wait a minute. Uh-oh, let's see. I got to do this.
I'm out, people.
No, I had to do the puzzle thing. TikTok has this puzzle that comes up, and I have to line it up with the puzzle, and it's just verifying that I'm the real person,
Oh yeah, yeah.
like I'm the real person. So whenever I see that happen, so you know, just for the sake of just one little thing, one person said and had the audacity to say that I've got a lot of money and I have 20 grand or whatever it has. I was like, oh, I wish I could meet that person. I'd love to meet that person. That I have all this money I've made off of TikTok, and I got a mansion. I must have a Jaguar, or maybe I have a Mercedes Benz. I'm saying, which one is that? Is that in an alternate reality?
Mhm.
But anyway, it was kind of comical. I'm saying, what are you talking about?
Yep.
But anyway, I think that what we're getting at is we're now in a good way. We're going to be seeing things happen. You're
Oh
going to
yeah.
see who on earth, and it doesn't matter if it's on social media, somebody you've lived with in your life, on your neighborhood. You're going to find out who the people are that are loving people on this planet. And you're going to find out the people that are things like in Gaza on earth, where people unfortunately are being, men, women, and children and babies are being bombed out by these people that have power and weapons that are destroying people's lives. And that same energy is being used in social media platforms, and it's being used on all levels of consciousness. And yeah, so we're going to see a lot of that thing change, and we have to be strong in our hearts. We need to be in the UFO community. Those that really who are truly wanting to know the truth, we have to stand our ground.
Yeah.
We have to realize that there's going to be two sections of the UFO community on Earth. There's going to be the section that Eddie and I are part of, and the section that the negative people in the UFO community are, and they exist. And you're going to have to make a choice between whether you're going to follow the bullies of the UFO community who want things their way, or whether you're going to go with people that are enlightened and actually are speaking the way we're speaking, bringing forth real reality and real truth. And that's the thing that people have to know. And also, the other thing people have to do is think for yourself. Don't follow crowds. Don't say, don't feel like you have to be forced to be part of that group. You don't have to be forced with any group. You just have to be your total self. And if you are your total self, then you will never, ever have a brainwashing moment where you're controlled or being hammered by bullying people that you say, well, I've got to be with these people or else. No, you don't. You don't have to be with anybody.
Well,
You have
yeah,
to be with yourself.
it's the web. It's the spider's web.
That's
It's
right.
literally, those people that are wrapped up in the fear and hate and frustration and aggression.
That's right.
It's all a web of. So the way I've explained it before is that this is your upper three, right? One, two, three, and that's above your heart, and those are connected to your highest celestial beingness. Now the lower three below your heart, those are connected to your humanness. Those are connected to the earth. Those are connected to that is as above, so below. So that's as above, so below statement means that if we are love in the above, then we need to be love in the below. It doesn't mean that like heaven and hell. It means that when we can act in a beautiful way here on the planet Earth, then we can ascend to these higher ones much easier because we've reached a higher octave below our heart. And then once we've reached that center mass, which is where we exist, which is where our consciousness lies,
Yeah.
is that center mass. That's why they call that the heart chakra, even though our physical heart's a little bit over. So this is where we are. So
Yeah.
because we're a sphere. So because if any star is round, it's a ball, a
Hmm.
sphere, then we exist here. So then we can then we should then if we have to take more responsibility when we get to these others here. When we get to the throat of the things that we say, because if we want to stay at a higher octave, we got to speak at a higher octave. So I've met a lot of people in the spiritual community that are like, "Namaste, I love you,"
Right.
and they speak from that, and they think from that, and then they
Yes.
exist from that, and then once you make that connection, see, it's not a religious thing. It's not a spiritual thing.
Hmm.
This is a function. We're
Yeah.
talking about functionality here, utility, how to make this ascension process that they call it, to come out from here, go back around, so we can reach another octave of
Right.
of understanding and awareness, because it just grows. So we don't need
Mm.
to think that we got to do it all in one shot, and because we have to learn about unconditional love. We got to be unconditional when we live in a world that is not. So we have to grow. We learn about dharma, and how to serve each other, because if we're all God's children, we need to be serving each other. It's not a commandment. Nobody
Right.
owns it. It's just and don't force yourself. Don't force yourself to help others until you can help yourself, until you can get
Yeah.
yourself out of that, into this place and space of beauty, and then start to see how that affects your local reality, and it starts to have an effect. And then you reach a higher octave, you do it again, and then you find yourself talking to others, being kind, and sharing food, or giving some change. And the next time you're doing something even greater for others in service, and then you're finding this world expanding even bigger, and things just start to happen to where you know and so, like, this is where a lot of these people that are really truly in the spiritual community, that do have a lot of money, that have people that support them, and go, I'm gonna write you a large check because I feel what you're doing, and I know what you're doing is right. And then they their community grows, and then they can do more things with the money.
That's right.
Yeah, but money, ugh. I'd rather just be like, hey, we have a bunch of seeds and some land. Let's go. Let's do this.
Yeah, let's get the land going here.
Yeah.
We can do that. And I'm doing this as you're talking. I have so many powerful crystals here in the last 20 years. And when I say I've been guided by my space family for these crystals that I've gotten, they've always guided me for these crystals I found at these big shows. And these crystals are of the highest vibration. Now, when I do these things with the crystals, I can do anything I want. And what I'm saying is, essentially, we are crystals. We're parts of the whole of the crystal. The crystal has an energy, and we're all composites of the crystal. In a sense, we as human beings, as consciousness, are composites of crystals. And the crystals have a higher vibrational energy. So think of ourselves in this community as fragments of the crystal coming together and shining a light that glows beyond and connects us all to each other. We're on a path right now, people, where we are coming to the crescendo of something much greater than ourselves. Yeah, prisms have any energy. Yeah, they do. And prisms, yeah, they definitely have energy. We have energy. That's a great question, Teresa. So, in a sense, we are all prisms of light. But in billions and billions of human beings, like Carl Sagan would say, billions and billions and billions, we have fragments of that prism that are all connected. We're coming into a situation where we are evolving cosmically evolutionary as human beings. Our evolution is now going to jump and quantum jump from where we are now in 2025. We are going to jump and leap, if we so choose, to a higher consciousness. If we choose not to leap into higher consciousness, we're going to be actually stuck only if we wish to be stuck. If we are in a galactic framework as a planet, we are. People are going to still be the billions of people. You're going to have people that are going to go to a parallel Earth reality. And if you have a crystal that just keeps sitting there and over the years it's all dusted up, you take the crystal, you put it under hot water, and you clean the energy from the crystal, because crystals take in energy from what's around them. But when you take the crystal and purify the crystal, it is now clear. When the crystal is no longer having dust all over it, it can't see anything, that crystal becomes clear enough that it shines and it sparkles. Just like a human being. If a human being has got all this garbage in their energy field from being everywhere over the years, and the human being doesn't know how to clarify their energy and their consciousness, they will be stuck in that dust until they clear the dust away and see clearly what's ahead of them.
Great analogy. That's really good. Because we have crystals in our skin. Our food that grows from the Central Valley of California used to have a lot of quartz and gold and platinum and palladium in it because it was in the soil. It was very fine soil at the beginning. But now it's, not as nutritious as it used to be, but it still has a lot of the elements in there. But so what we're starting to see is like a lot of people have become conscious of the things that we're lacking in the body that are essential for our processes. And so we're starting to be able to purchase those things and just take them supplementally and with food, because we have to remember that a lot of the stuff that is supplemental, like in pill form or whatever, vitamins, minerals, minerals. They call them vitamins, but they're vitaminerals, vital minerals. And then when we take them, we need salt. We need a good salt because the salt is a
Hmm.
carrier. Um, One of the things, and I'm gonna share this with you guys, and it's such a simple thing. I bought a 9 pound bag, baking soda. I bought a 9 pound bag of baking soda because I had this conversation. I was telling you last time I had this conversation with my sister. Sodium bicarbonate is one of the cheapest things and most affordable things on the planet, and it is a carrier. Sea salt is good, but I'm talking about the like just sodium bicarbonate. Okay, because what they do in the medical field, they carry the saline solutions with sodium bicarb. They call it bicarb, and it's a saline bicarb solution,
Hmm.
and it's one of the cheapest things that they can make, but it's only used if a person is crashing and they may die, makes no sense because it's something that they should use at the beginning. As soon as that they know what this person's going through, they should put that in them instead of the regular saline IV drip.
Hmm.
Yeah, exactly. I bought the big bag from Costco. So the reason why I'm talking about it is because you should every time you eat food, um, you afterwards you should drink just a cup with just a teaspoon in it because that is a carrier. It's a carrier salt.
Hmm.
So, and what it'll do is all of the stuff, all the nutritious stuff that's in the food, will it'll digest better. All the stuff will come out, and all the other stuff will go out. So, because if people here get heartburn, indigestion, what you're feeling is a lot of the things that are your body's trying to break down all of the stuff in your gut. Almost every meal, you should just drink a cup of it. And it's because it'll take out all the nutrients, it'll dump out all the toxic stuff because that's what our bodies have essentially done for
Hmm. Hmm.
millions of years, right?
Hmm.
That's what it's done. It's and you know, but for it to be efficient, yeah, my grandma used to make the baking soda for bee stings, for whitening your teeth. I mean, it's just
Yeah.
essential, and yeah, like cayenne pepper, all of those things, cayenne pepper, all of your vitamins. Even if you drink like a smoothie, drink a little bit of that sodium bicarbonate after as well, just so your
Hmm.
body will absorb all of the nutrients that are necessary for your body to take, and then dump everything else out.
Hmm.
This way, there's no more chances of getting anything stuck in your cells that don't belong there, because there's a lot of stuff in our they're even doing their studies about the sodium bicarb and molasses, and people are swearing that it has taken away cancer. Now, I say that I don't know anybody that has done it, but I've been watching videos and people are swearing by it.
Hmm.
They said just don't drink it with apple cider vinegar. I don't know why, but okay. Well, maybe
Yeah.
that's why, because it's more acidic that way with baking soda
Hmm.
and water, because it whitens clothes. I don't think that would be good to drink both together.
Yeah. And again, this is for entertainment purposes only.
So,
Let's see here. Blast My Beat says, once a UFO landed in front of me, but I drove off. Ooh, that's interesting, Blast My Beats. Let's bring her up with us if she wants to come
oh,
up.
sure.
Eddie is my
Awesome.
guest. We'll bring her up. There's something interesting happening here. Blast My Beats, come on up. Let's see what if you want to come up, come on and join us.
Yeah,
I
Rob
want to
was
know when
talking
that
about
happened.
hydrogen peroxide, the food grade hydrogen peroxide. Like, have you
Hmm.
ever seen when you put hydrogen peroxide on like if you're bleeding and you put a drop of it on there and how you see the bubbles? That's oxygen. So they're saying that because I've read that too. I have a gallon of food grade hydrogen peroxide uh, that I will once in a while. I'll take a, with some water. You got to dilute it down because it can cause problems with your teeth and your stomach and stuff. So you don't want. So yes,
Mm.
sodium bicarbonate. Yes, you guys.
People also, Eddie, like your shirt. Calico says, "I like your shirt, Eddie."
Just watched this movie before, right? And it ended right before I came onto your show. It's so funny.
Oh
I'm
my
wearing the
gosh.
shirt and we watched the movie. You didn't even realize it.
Yeah, it's just people say when we talk about these things, it's all related to consciousness and how we take care of our body, and it all relates to what we're doing right now. And I think you say, what's a show like Encounter Story about this? It's all related to our consciousness, our physical body, and Eddie's really kind of I think it's really good to know about these things because it helps us clarify our temple. So I always say that our body is our temple. And people say, well, what do you mean the body is the temple? Well, the fact of the matter is, if you ingest things in your body that clog up the body, then it cannot breathe and then it cannot transfer energy. If you have a clear body and your body is your temple, then you protect your temple.
Yeah.
So most of us are walking around and we're actually a bunch of human temples, and some temples are clear and some temples are messed up.
Yeah.
So if you clear your temple, then it's not messed up, right? Then you have the ability to say, my consciousness, my temple, my body is good. And then you
Yeah.
can walk forward and say, now I can talk clearly about cosmic reality. Now I can talk clearly about the things that are. And,
Mhm.
and you'll know what you're doing because you're now able to think clearly in your consciousness as to who you are, what you are, and where you're going to be.
Yeah.
If you allow somebody to, if there's somebody who's clogged up in their temple and they are talking to your temple and your temple's purely clear and the other person's temple is completely messed up because of all the smoke in the body, all the stuff, the poison that's been ingested, whatever it is, it doesn't allow for the body to be pure. But when the body is pure and the consciousness connected to the body is pure, it's an alignment. And when your body has an alignment, you're able to understand things much more clearly than you do if you had, take a garbage can and you throw the garbage in there. The garbage can is one time empty, but now there's so much garbage in the garbage can that it's not empty anymore. It's not clear because it has all this garbage in it. That's my analogy. If you take the body and you put all the garbage into the physical body, you clog up the temple. So we're not just human beings having a human experience. We are either clogging the consciousness or we're expanding the consciousness. And you'll know if someone's expanding the consciousness by the way they act, the way they talk, and the way they react to another person. You see what I mean?
That's a good subject right there too, because a lot of people think that, well, I'm just angry all the time, and it's like, well, you know, a lot of the times our what we're feeling emotionally is not us. Sometimes it's our body. Sometimes when our body's not happy, it comes up emotionally. And that's one of the things a lot of people have a hard time. They're like, I don't know why I'm so upset or why I'm so
Mm-hmm.
sad or
Yeah.
why I'm so depressed. Well, if your body's not happy, if your body's feeling depressed, it's like if you've ever been around a plant and you see the plant drooping, you're going, oh, the plant's not happy. Or you can see on a puppy, like if the puppy's like down and got a face on, you're like, oh, what's wrong? We don't pay enough attention to the body,
Mm.
and knowing that this is a living, intelligent organism. Yes, parasites. That's another subject too, because you could buy I just found out today. We took our dogs in to get their shots, and they sell the horse paste. It's ivermectin and fenbendazole,
Mm-hmm.
which
Mm-hmm.
is both of the parasite things. So, and people will go, well, isn't that for horses? They go, well, it's apple flavored, and and humans can take it too. So yeah, it's super cheap. It's like 25 bucks for a big old thing, and it'll last you forever. But get everybody on a detox for the parasites, because
Mm.
those have uh what if your body is healthy and you have
Mm-hmm.
parasites,
Mm-hmm.
then what'll happen is the parasites will be healthy because they're like, oh my gosh, I can eat all this food, because you're eating all this good stuff, and you're so you want to get rid of them. You want to get rid of the parasites because they'll eat all the nutrients out of the food that you're putting into your body as well, and they'll make you sick. So
Mm,
yeah, you want to have a super gut. Yes, exactly. So
mm,
once you start feeling better, because this is one of the benefits that experienced with the baking soda with the sodium bicarbonate is my tendons right here were super tight, and I was working out a lot, and they just started all down here. My tendons, even just up until the last couple months,
mm,
I started this, um, and both of them had started. And people get
mm.
surgeries because these tendons, for some reason, start getting tight, and then they have to have surgery on them. I just started doing the baking soda, and the tendons are loosening up because I've had that, and then my T band in my right leg, I've had tightening up for no reason, and all of it's going away.
Wow, interesting, and it's appropriate that we're talking about these things because we're not just people interested in the subjects that we talk about on encounters, but part of our encounters is to talk about how we as human beings, with all these things that can help us, these things are important for us to proceed to use these things in our body that will help us clear, like you're saying, Eddie, the symptoms, things that you go outside and there's fires from the Canadian fires, and you see it coming over, and you say, why all this smoke? And the sun looks orange because all that pollution is ingested into our physical body. We need to be conscious of that so that we can clear the energy from that out of our body and be able to, think clearly and also breathe clearly too.
Well, some people are saying how much baking soda many times a day. I take 1 teaspoon a day, once a day only.
Mm-hmm.
Be responsible. Don't go. It's like hydrogen peroxide. It's too much of it is poison. Too much baking soda is poisonous, and too much of
Mm-hmm.
anything is poisonous. You can eat shellfish and die. So you could drink too much water and perish. Like I said, one cup with a teaspoon. After each meal, I only eat 2 meals a day. If I snack, I don't do it.
Right.
Just the big meals, I'll take right afterwards, and it helps your acid to regulate.
Right.
So that's what I've been having the most success with. So there are higher qualities, you guys, of course, but it's usually all the same. Don't get involved in any of the conspiracy theory stuff because people are like, well, I heard this and I heard that and I
Yeah.
heard
Yeah. Yeah.
Celtic sea salt. There's lead or mercury or something in it now,
Yeah.
and I'm
Mm-hmm.
no, 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 no. You heard one story. It's not being pulled off the shelves. You
Right.
know.
It freaks people out. And we do these experiments here on the show sometimes. You've seen it, Eddie, where I like to test people's consciousness. I love people enough to want to test consciousness.
Yep.
And when people say, without a question, they say, are you feeling symptoms like you're feeling yucky, tired out? Because if I'm feeling that way, then I know others are feeling that way. And it's not because they want to be yucky or feel like yuckiness. It's because something is happening. There's like an energy coming into the earth that's yucky, and it's affecting everybody. Then there's the energy in the what we call the earth changes on a cosmic scale, that we go from the yucky feeling to the feeling of feeling energized, feeling great. Man, I'm feeling like I'm ready to jump a building into another building, like Superman jumping in the city from one building and jumping over to the other building on top of the roof.
Hmm.
And when you have the feeling of jumping over the other building next to you and say, "Can I jump over that roof?" Man, I think I can jump over the roof. Then there's those yucky days where you're looking at the roof and say, "Man, I'm not going to make it. I'm not going to jump over that roof. I'm not even going to make it over that roof." And because I'm feeling kind of yucky. And that analogy is that as we proceed to go forward every day, every moment, every second of our lives, even when we're sleeping, we're going through transformational moments in our consciousness. Our consciousness never stops. We can go to sleep tonight, folks. Your consciousness, your dreams, your ability, when you go to sleep, not everyone's going to remember that you went out of body. And I would say that 99% of each and every person on here, and I just want to thank everybody. We're at 122,500 likes, and we've had 2,200 people watch the show since a little bit after 11. So I want to thank 2,200 people for coming in for a few minutes to be here. That means a lot. That's something I can monitor. But when we go to sleep, all of us are traveling somewhere. You might not remember that when you wake up that you even had a dream or went somewhere. I would, without being totally absolute about it, I would say that most 99% of you all go off planet. You don't remember it, but you're going out of your body. When you're sleeping at night, you're not even in your body anymore. You're actually accelerating off planet. You might be going on planet within the Earth. You might be going to a place like Atlantis. You might be going to Lemuria. You might be going to the city of Telos. You might be going to the inner Earth when you leave your body. Or you might be just traveling in a Merkaba state off planet, and you wake up, you don't even remember it.
Right.
And that's the truth.
Right.
That's the cosmic truth.
We don't remember we don't remember where we were before we were born. We don't remember where we go when we sleep, but that's exactly we have amnesia during our sleep, and then a lot of times we go well, that was a weird dream, and it's like, well, maybe it wasn't a dream. Maybe it was you were so close to your body, you were starting to see a little bit of that weird dimension or whatever you were playing in. You never know.
And Greta's saying, why do we travel and then don't remember it? I know a lot of people are wondering a question. I know, Greta, that I wake up and I sometimes don't even remember knowing. There's been nights, and I want to ask people this question. When I go out of body, when I really go out of body, I'll at one point in the late morning before it gets light out, I feel myself, I hit the bed hard. Like I hit it. Ever hit your bed at night hard? Like, what the heck just happened here? I feel like I'm going to bust the bed. I go boom, right into the body. Boom, I'm into the body. Yeah. And the next thing I see, I'm like, what the heck? I just went into my body. And at that point, you went into your physical body because you were not in your body. You went somewhere else. How many people have gone boom? You didn't say boom, but you went, you just crashed into your body in your bed. How many people had that happen? I bet a lot of you have. Yeah, that's the point of knowing that you've been off planet.
I flinch. Like I wake up whenever I come back in, it's like a flinch, like a jump. And yeah. I'm like, oh, I just got back.
Ooh. Yeah. And let me tell you something. If you go hard enough back in your body, you have to be careful you don't fall off the bed. You really do. It's not like a railing that says, okay, I'm going to hold you here. If you come back in your body and it pushes you sideways, you could fall right on the carpet, and there you're going to have a problem.
Oh, it reminds me of one of my teens. I woke up, I rolled over, and I opened my eyes, and we had a bunk bed on the other side, and they weren't underneath, they weren't parallel underneath. One of them was sideways, so one's like this and one's like this, right? And so whoever was on top, which was my cousin, I roll over from the other side of the room, looking over, and I see my cousin midair. Flying off the top bunk, hitting my brother, waking him up, and I was like, "You look like you were like jumping out of an airplane."
Yeah, it's crazy. And how many people? And this is also part of the experience. How many people in their sleeping state are talking to somebody in your sleep? Like my better half will say, "I heard you talking." And don't know what you were saying, but you're talking to somebody. How many people had that experience that you're talking to somebody in your inner consciousness? You have a conversation, but we don't know who you're talking to. A lot of times, I'm not saying all the time, but I would say majority of the time, if you're an awakened human being, when you are having a conversation in your sleep, you're talking to some other person that you can't see. You're having a verbal conversation. You wake up in the dream, out of the dream, realizing you were talking to somebody, and you just can't see them, or you can't know who they are. It happens a lot.
I hear her all the time. She's constantly talking to people, and she's at this stage right now where she's having certain dreams, and
Mm.
like it's tying into other people's reality,
Mm-hmm.
or into like my reality. She had a dream about somebody getting poked in the chest with a piece of metal, and
Mm.
me and my brother had just had a conversation about some guy talking about that, about being poked in the chest with a piece of metal. And I told her the story. She's like, I had a dream about that situation, and I was like, wow. And what she's been doing is she's having these dreams, and when she can feel how it's connected to someone, she'll ask them, so how was that tea that didn't smell very good? And they're going, uh yeah, it tasted better than it smelled. How did you know it? She's having these experiences a lot lately.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So she's picking up on so much. Like I'll sit there and I'll broadcast to her, this is what I want for dinner. I'll just think it.
Right. That's
It's
right.
like, I was thinking we should go eat over it. And I'm like, yeah, yeah, I think so too. It's
Yeah.
happening
Really. You know.
so much. We're opening up, and we're having these, well, people say it's psychic, and I say no, it's just it's resonance. We're broadcasting. It's a lot of the science community uses all those like telekinesis,
Yeah.
telepathic,
That's right. That's right.
because they think everything comes from the brain, and it's like, no, 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 it comes from our resonances, our when
Mm-hmm.
we have visions and stuff, it's coming from the transmission, is the better way to put it.
And the other thing is, when we talk about this setting, everybody, the great comments and great things people are saying and questions, those are great. I love that. Is that we are, in essence, like tonight, I just thought to myself, I think tonight before I go to sleep, I'm going to suggest that even though I might not remember it, I will suggest that when I go out of my body, that I travel into a Merkaba state, and I'm going to say to myself, I'm going to travel in Merkaba state tonight, and I wish to go to a planet where there are spiritual beings of light, and I want to remember. So if I say to myself, I want to remember before I go and wake up in the morning, I want to remember where I was. I want to remember who I visited. I want to remember who the people are. I do want to remember this, but if I have to say it, I better say it. For me, I better say it as conviction in my heart. I'm not talking about the breathable heartbeat. I'm talking about in my heart. If I say it and say, oh, maybe I can go somewhere, that means nothing. If I say before I go to sleep, just like meditation and doing Om and You, if I say, I really do want to go off planet, and I know I'm always going off planet, but I now want to see where I'm going. Where am I going? Where's I'm going to be? Who am I going to meet? What's going to happen? I really do want to do that. And I think that we can all do that. Maybe some of you are already doing it. I think it's the intention. If we have the intention, then we make the reality happen in our dream state or going out of the body in our sleeping state with the intention of going somewhere and very, very specific as we're doing right now. Does that make sense to people? It's all intention.
Yeah, it's all
Without
it's yeah.
intention, there's nothing.
Yeah, and nobody's no, more powerful or less powerful than anyone else.
Right.
It's making the efforts. It may take, you know 5 efforts. It may take 1 effort. It may take 20. It may take 100 efforts. But as long as you make the effort, it will happen.
Yeah.
Because it is your will. It's your will, and eventually, the stronger your conviction, the stronger your command, then of course it will happen.
And speaking of command, our good friend Enlightened, our good brother out there who's an amazing, beautiful person, good evening.
Hey, brother. Good to see you. How are
It's
you?
we're glad to have you here. Say hello to Eddie, Star Knowledge.
Hey, Eddie. How you doing, brother?
Good. How are you, bro?
Good.
Can we bring you on camera? There you are. I was going to say, can we bring you on
Yeah.
camera? Here's a beautiful person right
I'm a
here.
little scruffy tonight.
But you're scruffy in a good way.
Enjoying the yeah. It's a no shave club today.
I have my case study. I'm doing all these tests, and it's just round the clock. I'm almost finished.
Well, you still have that radiant energy with the beard, so you're good.
I just look older.
Oh, don't even say the word older. That's just a projection of
I
thought.
know. I know. You got me by a few years, so I should be quiet. How's
And,
everybody?
everyone doing good. We're having a really great show tonight. We're talking about things about consciousness, about who we are, what we're going to be, and how we're talking about human reality right now. We're coming into a place where people are going to show who they truly are. And we talked about the UFO community, how there are people in the UFO community that are going to be totally negative energy, and those in the UFO community that are spiritual. And we're seeing that now. We're seeing that development, which actually is good. Because we're now seeing who the people are that are truly of the light of the UFO community, and people that are actually having negative energy in the UFO community. So we've gone from that to talking about our bodies, how we as human beings, and any I've spoken about with everybody in the audience, the things to do to make our temple pure, because our human body is our temple. And if we don't, we said earlier, if we don't take care of our temple, how are we going to be clear enough to communicate with people from other planets? If our temple's all messed up and we have all this poison in our body, it will also affect our consciousness.
That's correct. It also affects the pineal gland. The pineal gland is a God gift to us at birth that we're
Yeah,
born with. That pineal gland is part of that activation of everything that who we are within ourselves,
yeah,
everything that enlightens us. So
yeah,
yes, what we put into our bodies affect the pineal gland.
yeah. And I know because at the short period I've known you to be a good friend. It's funny how quickly you get to know somebody. And it seems like it's been not so much the human form, but I think the connection is from a galactic level beyond this time and space. And you know
Correct.
that you recognize somebody. So you're in that human body, I'm in this human body, and saying, hello, we're in human bodies, and this is our spacesuit.
Pretty
In a
much.
way.
I agree. It's our vessel, right? It's how we get
Eddie,
around.
Eddie's in his vessel right now. Wait a minute, where is Eddie? I think everybody out here watching this show, you're in your vessel, and you'll recognize each other. That's why you're able to be here, because you recognize the energies of each other. You become friends with each other in a very positive way. And I think part of what the show's about, which is why I have so many people that love this show, is because we bring people together, and they know they can speak their truth. People that have top security clearance can come here, and they have, because they know that I'm genuine in what I do. I have no ego. I don't care about ego. I care about just being genuine and seeing the genuine love of each person, speaking their truth and speaking it here. And that's what I love about everybody. It's really a good thing.
And that's what we love about you. That's what that's what draws me to you is your genuineness. Really, you have a big heart, and your aura is very bright, and so that's what I was drawn to. And you
Yeah,
being the first live that I went on to,
I
and
remember
and
that too.
I told you about my story about my visitation with two beings,
That's
and
right.
immediately you were saying I want to hear your story, and I only had 100 followers.
Yeah. See what
It was
happens. And
great.
that's what
It was
happens.
great.
I've had people that have been on here after 3 years of coming here, and automatically they have a lot of followers. And I'm not about ego. Now I say, oh,
No,
now they have more
it's
followers
not
than me.
about
Who
that.
cares? It's immaterial. My whole thing is those who are really truly who they are, they should have followers. They should be able to teach their teaching and tell and show people their videos, because I'm not about who has the best car, who has the best big house. I mean, if I had to do that, I'd be like going nuts.
That's
I don't care about the big house. I don't care about the Mercedes Benz. So my neighbor has a Mercedes Benz, which they don't. But if they did, am I going to be jealous of that? No, because it means it's meaningless. When you have a cosmic consciousness, all material things are immaterial. That's it.
And Commander, on that note, once upon a time, I had lots of money, big house, big cars, traveled, had jewelry. It's all gone now. And what I've learned is that of which is of this world, which is fine to have those things, but that is not what is important. because when you learn that that is just things that keep you grounded to the earth, not to your spiritual growth. When you learn the difference between the two, that's when your ascension starts. When you can let that go, and that doesn't control you or bind you, that's when your ascension really starts, and that's when you start making that contact with those extraterrestrials, those people from other planets, and they start to connect with you because your frequency and your vibrations start to rise, because the frequencies in the 3 and the 4 density are low.
Mm-hmm.
Above that, your frequency rises, and then our space brothers and sisters start to connect with us.
Right, and you're a good example, brother, as a person that, by example, has shown that that happens with your pictures, the video that I thought was fantastic of the light being the human form of them coming in and out. No one can make that up. It's something that is so real, so genuine. You're also in that state of consciousness where the space people are coming and physically manifesting because you're at that frequency that they're at, which is the Christ conscious frequency and also the light frequency. And I recognize that. Same thing with Eddie. He's been with the Star Knowledge conferences, which are very big, and he also has that same energy and wisdom, and you have that wisdom too, because I noticed that right away when we first talked to each other, and it's not exclusive, but people do have wisdom if they so choose to recognize it.
It's embracing your authentic self is what it really is. It's connecting with yourself. Yes.
And that's the thing we look forward to when I go into things of conflict, which I had the essence of doing earlier today. You walk through the conflict of darkness, and you realize that you got through the darkness, but you still came out of it unscathed. Your consciousness is intact. Your beingness is intact. Your spirit is stronger in the light. And my spirit is very strong. Nothing can break me because my spirit is always going to be strong. And that's why I do what I do. And that's why my voice is calming, because my voice will never be yelling and screaming at somebody, because that's not the way I am. That's not my mission. That's not as a talk show host, that's not the way I am on radio or TV or anything. I know of this world, but if you say you're not of this world in the UFO community, you're going to have that other half that says, what do you mean you're not from this world? You're not from this world. We're talking about UFOs. What? You're talking about UFOs? Who cares about the UFOs? But what about those UFOs? Can I communicate with a UFO? Over the years, this is the funny part of it, folks. People say, I was trying to communicate with a UFO and have the UFO come over my house. And then I have to say, well, you're not communicating with UFO. It's a traveling object. It's some sort of an object. Inside that supposable UFO, there's consciousness. It might be more than one consciousness. It either is a lower vibrational consciousness, or it's a higher vibrational consciousness, or consciousnesses that have actually come into the spaceship, these consciousnesses, almost like a Kanish. Consciousnesses.
Right. I like
that. I just realized I said consciousnesses, so I had to use the word Kanishes. Like flying Kanishes with consciousness in it. And everyone likes a Kanish, but they come to Earth, and I'm laughing because I realize it's funny. They're coming to Earth, and these are not consciousnesses. These are people that are on a spaceship. They could be different looking type of people. They could be looking like us. They might not look like us, but they might be living in a harmonious relationship with the Creator. And most of the light beings that are coming to Earth are people that are very loving people. On Earth, we are now going through a very transmuting or transformational state of consciousness.
Yeah.
We all see it. We use the social media platforms, Facebook, YouTube, whatever. We can see in the live ways people act with each other, whether they're conflicting with each other, yelling and screaming with each other, which is a confusing consciousness, or whether they're like what we're doing here, having a conversation and enlightening each other and questioning things in a very beautiful way, where there's a synergy of light, which we are doing, all three of us here in this room, and all of our people here that we love, all the people that are viewers all over the world. We're having a symbolic relationship, which is what contact is going to be about. If this group here can achieve greater things in your consciousness before contact happens on Earth, you are going to be way ahead of every other person out there in social media, because you're now focused on the right thing. You're not focused in conflict. You're not focused on jealousy. You're not focused on how much money you have. You're focused on how you love each other, embrace each other, and will you provide that love to the space people when they come here? Because they're coming here. I mean, they're already here, but the mass contact's not here yet. When the mass contact comes here, they're watching all our consciousness. These space people are connected to all of our consciousness. And if we realize that there's an interconnection, we need to make sure we're at the best that we can be as human beings. Not just human beings, but also of a open consciousness, a cosmic related consciousness. So, so Billy's saying, where are they? Well, they're here already. They've been living here for billions of years. The major part of the contact hasn't happened yet. But before you and I, Billy, were here, the space people live in the inner Earth, what we call the Hollow Earth theory. The space people live in space cities in our oceans, from the Atlantic to the Pacific to the Indian Ocean, wherever it is, in the very deep parts of the ocean, they do exist there. They've been there for billions of years. We on the surface world are, for those that are consciously awake, know that to be true. But our surface world teachers don't tell us anything. Go ahead, David. I mean, Eddie.
Well,
I want to call you David.
there's all this stuff is coming in, and I want to share it before I lose it. Etheric Prism says the spaceship is itself is conscious as well, and I yes,
Yeah.
So for etheric prisms, we study. We have the books called the Symbols, and what I'm going to do, Commander, is I'm going to talk to Nikki and see if I can get the bar, because it's probably about 3.5 feet long.
Oh, wow.
On it. And if you want to see it, like if anybody wants to see the bar I'm talking about, watch Ancient Aliens, season 3, episode 1. I believe it's episode 1 or episode 3. It's Cowboys and Aliens.
Oh, wow.
You'll see Chief Black Elk or Standing Elk with the bar, with the silver bar. That was Chief Golden Light Eagle before he became Chief Golden Light Eagle. He was Standing Elk. So,
Wow.
and then when you were talking about the pineal gland, I studied medical terminology and Latin terminology, and it's actually pronounced pineal.
Pineal.
The pineal gland. Well, because of the shape of the. I know you're aware of this, but we're so used to saying pineal. I'm not trying to correct you.
No. You're good.
When I corrected it in my mind, it said seed of the mind, right? Because it's a seed. The pine cone is the seed, right? And as you were talking, and as all three of us were talking, I went, and I was thinking it's the seed of the mind. And how does a seed grow? Well, it grows in the dark, but you need light for it to be able to move up, right? And earlier in our conversation, I was talking about lighting up the chakras, that we had to light them up. And this is where that comes out. We call that the torus or the toroidal field, but it's actually the branches of the seed that is connecting all of, and you've seen that in the Celtic tree, where it goes back and back around to the roots. So I hope that is helpful for some of you guys. But next time, I'm going to see if I can bring it over here to the house, because I don't want to.
That'd be great.
I'd
love to see that.
Yeah, I have a little one, but I want to show the actual bar that's on the Ancient Alien.
We should sell. That would be great if you can. If that comes from the Ancient Alien show, that bar.
Well, the bar is actually it is a replica of what the Star People showed Chief, on how the UFOs, how the ships are conscious, and the symbols that are on those ships, and they're on a bar. And so if you watch Project Blue Book, season 2, episode 1, they show the Roswell crash, and they show people picking up debris, and then in the fire, they show the bar in the fire. with the symbols on it, and it's I don't know if it's little or big. It's really hard.
I saw that.
Yeah,
I think I did see that. Yeah, I did see that too. Yeah.
and that's the same. And see that came out in 2017, and the book came out in 1986.
Hmm.
So the symbols he's had the replica bar. He's had that since 1986. He had somebody actually make that. So yeah, but it's a replica. It's just an aluminum bar that somebody made the symbols on there. But that was that was from the visual that the star beings gave him.
Yeah.
And so he had somebody make it.
So he had the visuals from the star beings, and he replicated what they told him, right?
Yeah, but he had face-to-face contact. And they flooded him with information, and he had a lot of people around him back then that helped him to get the information back about the symbols, including children and chiefs and medicine men and grandmother Silver Star and Mary Lightweaver and I mean, there's countless people that I've met that tell me the stories of their travels and like all the things that they had to do and all the ceremonies and to retrieve this information to make this book actually become
interesting.
Yeah.
My father worked at NASA for 25 years, and he showed me a picture of that in 1980.
And that's from Project Blue Book. It was the disclosed files. Was the only place that most people would at 2015 they disclosed the Project Blue Book files. So all you had to be in NASA, some kind of top secret department, or with the government, or the only other person that knew about it was Chief, and the FBI, CIA came in. They were like, "How did you get this information?" And he's all, "I got it from the same people you got it from."
My grandfather also worked at Hughes Aircraft at El Segundo. He was a rocket scientist there for 23 years.
It's amazing. It's amazing. Yeah. It's just
so I grew up knowing a lot of things that most kids don't know.
Yeah. And Enlightened, that's a beautiful thing that you did have that in that family atmosphere to have that knowledge as growing up as a kid, and look where you are now. It's pretty amazing, isn't it? It's
been a journey. It's been a journey of just understanding my inner state, growing as a person, learning that what's important, what's not important, pulling myself away from the material world. Because once you are controlled by the material world, ascension, you slow down.
Right.
And there's a reason for it. There's a reason for it. There's a reason why we get caught up in the material world versus the spiritual world.
Yeah.
But there's a reason.
It distracts you from the truth. That's why the people in power, this is not like a conspiracy theory, but it's the truth. Let's face it. If we break out of the matrix of the material world, now, granted, we have a house to live in, a bed to sleep in, we have a vehicle, but that's not really what the material world is. It's the thing where they get you gobbled up into thinking you have to have a 3-car garage, you have to have the same kind of house as your neighbor, you have to the same groom lawn in the backyard, have a big jumping thing for your kids, and make sure you go to a baseball game on Sunday.
That's the extinction event that's happening right now. The extinction event that's happening that's the breaking of the matrix, is the fact that their little system of how to control this, what they would call the simpler minds, is the simpler mind is going away for all humanity. It's going away. So the system it's going to dissolve, and we're just hoping that people don't panic and start throwing bombs all over the world. But
we don't want that happening either, right? Yeah.
Well, see, the thing is like as long as that can stay away for a certain amount of time when we can mature and in our light, then even if later on someone decided they were going to do it, we would just go, we'd go like this in the sky when a rocket's coming in, it would just disappear because we would be at that point of awareness. And a lot of us, when we escape the matrix, it's not, you guys please understand that escaping the matrix is not leaving your home and leaving behind your possessions.
No.
It is literally a liberation of your mind going, this is a dream, and I am the dreamer. And I am in a lucid, my life is like a lucid dream, so I'm lucid living. So if this is just like the dream, but I'm conscious of it, now I can create, there's a check coming for me that's going to help me to get out of this place, and someone's going to give me the car for why, I don't know. And they're going to come up and go, here's your keys. What do you mean? What? I just got divorced. I don't want the car. You can have it. And you're like, whoa. I did that. You're like, and you're just like, and then you're like, well, yeah, but it's your car. And you're like, I got 10 cars. I don't need that car. And you're like, okay, accepting that it doesn't have to be this karmic wheel, because it's, the illusion of karma is what has put us in this place in humanity in the first place.
True.
Knowing that when all we have to do is share, love, and take care of one another in the dream, then that's what liberates us, because we go, okay, we make the rules. We start making up these little things. I have a thing that, if my car gets wrecked, I'm gonna get another one, and everything's gonna flow. And like the insurance company's like, oh yeah, we're gonna pay for that, and they're gonna pay me more. They're gonna pay me more than I thought that the car was worth. And then and then something else comes in and goes, oh, so here's the rest of the money for it. Oh, I didn't even have to pay for the car. Oh, whoa, what a dream. What am I creating? Am I creating this? Is this my reality? And getting out of that idea that, that word reality. Reality is only what we deem to be real.
Right.
And when we start to understand that, then we don't have to live by somebody else's idea of what reality is.
Right. And basically, the terminology and people, you're watching Encounters, we're at 144,500 likes. Also, in terms of likes, just a brief little promotional thing, press the red button. If you're not pressing the red button on my channel here, please do so. And also the follow button on my channel too, just to let people know. But the reality is we create our own reality. Now, that saying in the New Age community is kind of cliche, but it's true. We choose to create the reality we wish to live in. If we choose to create a cosmic reality where we are in total harmony with the universe, that is our reality. If we choose to create the reality where we want to have a lot of golden things around us, and we wish to have not only the golden things around us, but other things around us, then we create that reality. We create whatever it is we create. When we talk about busting the matrix on planet Earth, and when we talk about shaking people up, which Eddie's seen me talk about this, I want to shake people up that are asleep. I choose to do that. Now, I don't have to choose to do that, but I choose to shake people's belief systems, because belief systems are created on Earth from schooling, traditional schooling. I call it traditional schooling because everybody here has been through traditional schooling. You went to high school, maybe you dropped out, that's fine. Or you went to college or university, you went to business school, thought that was important because you were told you need to go to business school in order to become successful. Right. When I look at my brother, he grew up through the Woodstock era, and he almost went to Woodstock. The woman he was with was a free spirit. She wanted to go. He would not leave work to spend that time in Woodstock to go. Me, I would have done it if it was the reverse. It ended up that we went two different ways. He was a kind of hippie kind of thing, and he became a person that was in that world of being what my father told him to be, which you have to be successful. You have to do things successfully. So in my reality, I went a different way. I don't know if it was because of my experiences or whatever it was. I saw the planet and the people around me differently. I found my brother and I are two different people. I'm more cosmically related. I could never talk to him about the cosmic reality. I probably could, but we are so far apart in our reality. It's like you're born into a family You might have a brother and a sister. I know many of you out there can understand this. And in that reality, you have your brothers and sisters, your mothers and fathers, and other family members. But you want to say, hey, look, you might be my brother, but man, you're so different than I am. I don't even feel related to you, sister or brother, or maybe you're a loving family. I know you love me, but you don't understand me. You don't even get it. And as you become more conscious, folks, in your reality, in this cosmic reality, everything that you believe in, everything you've been told to believe in, all the lies you've been told to on this earth, you shatter the lies that you've been taught to believe. When you shatter the lies, then you realize, oh, what am I connected to? Then you start having cosmic experiences. Then you say, oh, I had a space being come in my bedroom that had blue skin, very beautiful looking. And I know that because people have told me their stories. And these things are true. The one thing that is very true that people in the UFO community are going to have to start to listen to, the more traditional UFOologists, they need to wake up. Because if all they care about is the subject of who's the next general that's going to speak forward, that does not matter. What matters is that the UFO community, that's traditional part of it, they need to understand the spiritual UFO community, which is having the experiences. The people that are nuts and bolts people, all they care about, oh, did you see that one crash in the desert? Who cares that the metal crashed in the desert from another planet or whatever other reality? The reality is that if people in the UFO community do not acknowledge that people are having physical contact, they're missing the cosmic boat. Folks, they're missing the cosmic boat. And that's why we have to be very clear in our things. And that's why I'm here to do what I do, because I don't care. Like I said this before, I will not care who you are, what you think you are. It makes no difference what you think you are, what you are, or whatever. What matters is, are you moving forward and progressing as a human being, preparing yourself for the day when all of us are going to have to come together and say, what's going on here? Look at that. Look at those ships that are gold coming down on the desert area. What's going on? Wait a minute. I'm not sure I'm ready for what's going on. We're basically people that need to be prepared. I can't say it when my show is strong enough. People need to get ready. And some people say, well, he's exaggerating. He doesn't know what he's talking about. Yeah, I do. I've been in this thing long enough to know what I'm talking about. I'm not some person that's saying, I just read my first book on UFOs about what UFOs are. I'm not that person. I know that Enlightened's not that person. I know Starlanders is not that person. I know many of you in here are not that person. Some of you might be, and that's fine. If you're new to the thing, I'm glad you're here to find out. If you're new to the subject, I am so happy you're here, because we're going to give you some real stuff here. And we're not going to be sitting here watching people say, oh, there's some people commenting. This is my show, and I'm talking about UFOs, and I want to tell you something. It's me. I'm going to talk for 2 hours straight, and I do see your comments, but I'm not so sure you're ready for this. So what I'm saying is I do have a comical sense of humor. That's probably what disturbs the people that would want to attack what I do, because I don't care. It's a waste of the energy, because I'm still going to come back laughing. I'm going to still come out of it unscathed or whatever, and I'm going to still be who I am. I'm still going to be able to be here and bust your matrix. And if I do that, you're going to get tired after a while trying to do your thing with me, because I'm going to take you in a circle where you're going to know where you are. You're going to be so dizzy after I take you through the circle, you're going to say, that commander wore me out. And that's what I'm here to do. So when I wear you out, then I know I'm busting your matrix. I want to wear you out of the program so you can start thinking for yourself. That's what I'm here to do. There you go.
Well said, brother.
It's what it is. Now, folks, I want you to know I don't have a teleprompter in front of me, so I didn't make this up.
Yeah, that's too much work.
Are you kidding me? I don't want to. If I had a big studio with somebody with a teleprompter, I'd break the teleprompter and say, I don't need that.
No doubt.
I don't need that. But it's good. We've had such a great
Commander,
night tonight.
I've been last night. I had visions. It's very interesting. I saw 3 suns and a planet. Really?
Let's expand on that. What happened?
Very, very clear, man. I was there. I was looking at it, and I said, "Oh, we have to prepare." And it's funny you just said right now, we need to prepare. We need to get ready. And it's perfect for me to piggyback off what you just said, because last night I had a vision, and I don't call them dreams, I call them visions. They come to me they are real. And I share that in my videos and my pics, that these manifestations are absolutely 100% real. And it was very clear. I saw 3 suns and a planet. Now, they're saying that Nibiru has 3 suns.
Interesting.
So I don't know what the connection is yet and why I was seeing that, but it was, all I could think of is we have to get ready. We all need to start preparing. And what does that mean? Preparing, digging bunkers and all that? No, getting yourself within you whole, getting yourself centered, and getting that vibration and that frequency up to where you can connect with that level of density, that level of frequency, which is coming to us, the space beings, our space family, the people that we're connected. I call them people. To me, they're my brothers and sisters, my family, because they came to me when I was 9 years old. You know, and I shared this with you. I had 2 Pleiadians, I believe they're Pleiadians. They came into my room at age 9, and they said, the light is within you. That is the message they left me. After that is when I started having more and more contacts. At age 10 is when I started to see things. And in my school, they were saying to my father, oh, we think we need to put him on medication because he's seen things. And they had this big meeting, and my dad said, no, just put him in sports. And that's what I did. But at age 10, after my traumatic brain injury, all of these things started to happen, and I started to see the unseen world. That's what we call it, the unseen world. And I started having all these visitations from all these different beings, interdimensionals. The interdimensionals, we're sitting, they're right next to us. We're layered. We're like pancakes. We're right next to each other. And I started to see all these different realms, and I'm trying to talk about it. And after a while, people started to say, oh, you know what, man, you need to get on Prozac. You need to get on this.
Oh,
and
yeah.
So for
there you go.
52 years, for 52 years, I kept my mouth shut until a friend of mine who left NASA said to me, why don't you go onto TikTok and share your experiences? See what happens. And that's why I came onto TikTok.
Right. And that's why you found me, and right away I knew the energy, and I got him, and he didn't feel like, oh, this guy's going to knock me down. He came up, and instantaneously, it's like I felt like I knew you for a million years. And because that energy, like what I did, the same thing. We've become such good friends, and even though I haven't met him physically, we know each other. I know you, you know me. And
Absolutely.
it's the knowing of the cosmic you. We each have a knowing of the cosmic, and many people out here are watching this. You might know people here you've never met in the comments, and you're relating to those people, and I see that because you're relating to the cosmic you of the other person. Even though you don't physically see them, they're in the comments saying, oh, I love your comment. Oh, do you know this thing? It's a community, a relationship where we come together. We don't tear anyone down. We don't go after anyone, and we do what we're here to do. And we're doing it, and we continue to do it. And the more we see I can't speak English tonight.
Confrontation?
That's what I'm trying to say in English. Thank you. Confrontation. So when we have that confrontational energy, and those people that want to have confrontation, and they want to have disagreements, and they want to do whatever they want to do, and they have politicians say, well, we got to bomb this country, we got to bomb Gaza, we got whatever we want to do, we got to do this, we have to have confrontation. They're people that are not connecting to who they are. They're programmed. They're programmed into a complete circle of forgetfulness, a complete circle of illusion. They're being programmed like a robot. They act like a robot. They might have a human body, but they're programmed and brainwashed like a robot, and they do what they're supposed to do. It's a group mentality. It exists. I've seen what it's like to see that, a group mentality. You know, the gang gets together, the bullies get together in grade school against the kid that's saying nothing and doing nothing. You know, same thing with our reality as people. When we grow as physical adults, it doesn't mean that we are physical adults. Sometimes we're still that bully in adult form, and it does exist. Yeah.
I think that's why I was attracted to this show too, is because it's a comfortable space because there's a lot of people that are in the chat that have been in here for a long time, and a lot of them haven't come up because they're either not ready to share or they're
Right.
just they want to experience just it from that perspective of just being able to watch and just it's a community to where we feel like that like yes there are
Absorbing.
us
Absorbing.
out there. There's I'm not. I don't need to be institutionalized. I don't need to take crazy pills because if I do, that means the rest of us do too. And there's 250 people, and usually there's like 400 or 500 people in here, and there's thousands that watch the show. So yeah, we would, and most of us probably aren't taking anything, and and I'm sure the medical field would have a field day going, oh yeah, let's round them all up, and
Let's get all that stuff in them, right?
yeah, and it's not, it's but the beautiful thing is I've seen the insane and these other dimensions of places and I've been to in ceremonies, and next thing you know, I'm going to like a festival and I'm seeing an artist's rendition of the same place, but they're artists so they can draw it, and I'm going, you've been there, and they're like, oh yeah, many times, and I'm going, how do you get back to that same place every time? And they tell me the same thing that my mentor taught me. It's just mapping. It's just remembering. It's feeling, touching, tasting, and trying to absorb as much of the information that is in that place. And every time you can remember that, if you really want to go back to that place, just write it down. Remember it. It's almost like ingredients. You just write it down, and next thing you know, you're remembering it, and then you're traveling back to that place without being in a ceremony. You're just going back, and you're like, you're able to access that, and that's how powerful we are as a being. It's once we start to understand that we're the light, we are the light, we are the Christed light. When we can, the brighter that we can shine, and we can do it in a meditative position and an access and crack the seed of the mind open, and then there's so much that we can do, and there's a bunch of abilities that our bodies respond to that light. Everything responds to it. We are the masters of this vessel and this alone. And that's the beautiful part about it is, I had the conversation with my sister, and I said, you're a Christian, and I just want to let you know that I'm a follower of Christ too. I said, everything that Christ said to do, I did it. I said, but the problem is that, I've healed sick. I've 2 animals I brought back from death. And other things that I've done on that path. And I said, okay, I've done these things according to your law, but I don't see the rest of you guys following through. I said, what has happened? All that's happened. I said that to me is my awareness grew past religion. That's all that happened. It's not that I don't need to be where you're at. That's all I'm saying. Is I've been there, and then something else was next. There was something else that came, and she was like, okay. I'm like, so I don't want you to think that I think that I'm better than you. I say I completely understand where you're at, but my awareness has changed, and that's what happens to people, and that's people have like these moments of what they would call ascension symptoms, like I'm just having these visions or these things, and I feel like I'm being electrocuted, or this emotional like spaghetti, and I'm like, well, it's part of you that's waking up that you need to acknowledge, and because that's what you came here for. You know,
Yeah.
you're being pushed to have this process, and there comes a time where it's like, well, we can go through these times and transitions, or we can find our ceremonies and create ceremonies and to make things easier for us, so we don't have to go through those times where like, oh, I feel like I'm going insane. And
Yeah.
yeah,
And the thing is, like, I took one of my crystals here, for example. This is actually coming through the green screen. So this crystal is a prime example of the clarity. So look at yourselves as being a clear crystal in a human form. There's energy to this crystal. The crystal has things in it that are that have messages in them. Now people say a UFO person saying there's messages in this crystal.
mm-hmm.
I can say whatever I want.
Mm-hmm.
It's my crystal. It's connected. I can say whatever I want about this crystal. And if you look at this crystal, you'll see the energy lines right there.
Oh, yep, that's the records.
That's the records.
Mm-hmm.
That's the record keeper right there.
That's right.
And these crystals, in the last 20 years this is actually a Lemurian starseed crystal with it's a record keeper. This is a big crystal. I got this over 20 years ago.
You know how to read them? I know you do.
Yeah. I mean, the space people, again, I will say it and come out of the closet about this, whether the traditional ufologists say, what does he mean? The space people. They guided me to every crystal I have behind me here. Every crystal in 20 years, I saw the crystal and I got the energy or the information. I said, this is definitely different. I'm supposed to get this. And the answer was yes, every time. So when
Commander,
we think
did I share with you the Akashic crystal Bible that was presented to me? Did I share that picture with you yet?
Well, let's do that. You need to do that.
Let me look for it and I'll bring it up. We'll look at it. Hold on.
Okay. And we're going to get that. This is going to be good. And you watch, we've had 167,800 people in here. I mean, 800, likes. We've had 3,100 people in 2 hours and 18 minutes tonight. 3,100 people, 9 new people that are following the show. And again, 3,100 people. That's pretty amazing. You're watching Encounters. This is the reality and the real show. And there's not many shows on TikTok, but this is for 3 years going. I do a show. That's what I do. That's why the quality of the program is of the highest level, because I don't do 10 people in here yelling and screaming at each other. I don't do that. Never will happen. You'll never see it. I'll never get into that situation. We do it just like this, so you can actually understand what people are talking about. That's the key essence to the reality,
We need to scream over one another.
Yeah, I mean, if we were screaming at one another, I'd have a headache and a half. And I'd say, wait a minute, where's the Excedrin? Where's the cosmic Excedrin that is out there? Can my space family give me some cosmic Excedrin? We don't have that. We don't use that. You don't need that. But the Akashic Records, and we're going to see that, And the beauty of what we're doing here, folks, the beauty of what we're all doing, Eddie and the Enlightened and myself, and many of you are here asking questions, is that we're bringing you all together. We see you. We do see you. We see your comments. We do see you. If we skip a comment, it's not on purpose. It's just that we get so involved in talking, we might miss a comment. But we see all of you. I see all of you. Eddie sees you. Enlightened sees you. We all see each other, right?
Absolutely.
And that's the beautiful part of this thing, is that
Absolutely.
the synergy of energy. We just come together and we impart information. We do.
We're bringing each other together, so we can, because people, it's good to ask questions, and if you need to repeat it, that's okay.
Yeah.
Because it's all about, learning and sharing, and like I said, it's your curiosity is important. It's important to us too.
Did you get the Akashic Records off the spaceship?
This came to me in my bedroom.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go ahead and bring it up here. You can see the chair in the background. This is a crystal Akashic Bible in my interpretation.
Okay. This should be very
All right,
interesting.
here we go. Okay, here we go.
Oh,
Wait a minute. That is amazing. Wait a minute.
That's
That
a
is
crystal that came to me in my bedroom, and I have two more of these pictures, but they're different colors, but they're the same shape, same structure, opened up just like the Bible.
it's like a book.
oh my God! Look at that, folks.
Here's a
Now
book.
this is
But
why.
it's crystal.
Yeah. So this thing appeared in the room. It just like appeared physically in the
There's the
room.
room. You can see, yeah, you can see the chair. It was actually in my office. You can see the weight scale at the bottom of the chair. It was in my office where I used to work in behavioral health.
Hmm.
And it's floating?
It's floating. It just floated
It's
there,
floating.
opened up, and it came right by me.
Oh my God. That's
Now you're
amazing.
wondering how did I capture this? Well, all of my footage, everything that I capture, I'm already kind of tapped on the shoulder to prepare to because they want this to be seen. So I'm already in advance prepared, and I get a signal, and the signal can be a touch electricity that I feel around my body. It could be electricity I feel on my head. And when I get those feelings, I know to start recording. What I'm going to capture, I have no idea. I have no idea. So everything on my profile is all because I was somehow alluded to something going to happen. So then I start recording, and always I capture something every time.
Have you been able to go up to the thing floating, the Akashic record, and read it physically, or no?
No, no, no. I haven't had that interpretation yet.
Okay.
But in many of my vids and many of my pictures, there's a lot of this going on. I have several other ones where I'm holding something, and I've been looking for somebody who can decipher the meaning of the symbols that are happening to me. I'll find that right now, and I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Oh, great. I can't wait to see this.
I'm in a pitch dark room,
Hmm.
and I started rolling the camera. Now again, all the pictures I have are from video. They're not pictures.
Yeah.
Again, here's the Akashic again, but in a different color. What happened?
Okay, that's going to be good.
This is a different color, and it flew right by me. There it is, right there.
Oh, wow. Look at that, folks. So the Akashic
It's
record
opened
was.
up to me, literally. So like, if I could look over and read it, I probably, but I felt it. I could feel it right next to me.
Wow.
It's
And
beautiful. And there's no editing in any of my videos. I don't add color. I don't add nothing. What you see is what you get, 100%.
and it's
That
really
is the true
beautiful.
color.
And it's also enlightened the energy coming out of the Akashic record book. That's absolutely amazing.
Yes. Okay, let me see another one.
You said symbols too, right?
Yes. Oh, for you, brother. I know he was talking about the being. Here you go.
Yeah. Yeah.
We'll replay this one. I'm going to show you the picture.
Oh, the being, folks. You got to see this.
There's the being that came to me.
Oh, yeah.
And then let's watch the video.
The video is amazing. Watch this. The space being physically manifests. It almost feels like he or she is going taken up into another reality.
Yes.
Ah, yeah.
This is a very common occurrence with me. This happens almost every other day.
I can watch that all day. It's just an amazing.
Yeah, and the colors you're seeing, that there's no manipulation of color. Everything you're seeing is actual.
Someone asking, Sis is asking you, why is the being going up and down in the video? Can you explain that to our audience?
Yes, I'm the one controlling the movement forward because the eyes won't see it. So I'm
Oh, okay.
controlling it going up and down. Now, if I were to play it in real time, all you would see is a flash of light.
Yeah. So what you did is you took the energy that's going so quickly from the space being and slowing it down so people can see exactly what's being manifested. That's amazing.
There's the same one up here that you saw manifest. That's the same one.
Mm-hmm.
Now that's what the eyes would see if I didn't slow it down. This is what your eyes would see, just a blur like that, a blur of energy.
So when
And
you
there's
slowed it
three-
down, everybody, there's a space being, and that's where you're seeing the physical manifestation of the space being.
Yeah, and you can see there's three around me.
It's amazing. You see one on the right, one above you, and
Yes.
the third one's on the lower right side, correct?
Yes,
So there
that's
are
correct.
three
It's that
beings
one
that
right there.
manifested. Interesting. And Sober to Fitness has a question. I think.
Sure.
He's asking, or they're asking, can it be glare from the camera? Let's get that question out of the way. So, good question.
Well, first of all, it's at dark. It's dark at night.
Yeah.
I want to
There's
answer.
no light. I'm not doing this during the day, and I understand the glare thing. I get all that, but again, understand these are from video. All I'm doing is I'm screenshotting it from the video. I have to slow everything down to be able to share that so that the audience can see that. Okay, so that's if I were to play back the being appearing again, would we say that that's glare too?
Right.
Yeah. And the thing is,
Now,
when you look at
if I showed that being in real time, we could assume that it's glare. But showing it in slow motion so you can see, it's clearly not glare. That's
you can see it. So what he did is slow down the technology of the film, and you were able to see that it is a physical being, and that the other two that we're not seeing, except for that one being, it's showing that there is a physical being that is very advanced, able to come and go. Tell us about that. What's that over there?
Again, that's another being that came to me in my room. Now, we could also interpret this as being lens flare. If I were to run that in real time, which I didn't with this particular one because I had so much going on, I just left it out the picture because I thought the picture was beautiful. But these are the beings. This is what they look like before they take any kind of form.
Someone's asking, have you asked what the three of them or the being in your room that manifested, have you communicated with them as to who they are and where they're from?
Okay, they don't communicate to me that way. They communicate to me through feeling, through frequency and vibration. And the reason why they're coming to me is so that I can capture them. My frequencies and vibrations are just high enough that they're very comfortable coming to me, and they're allowing me. Now, understand, you can't capture this stuff unless they want you to. They want me to capture this and share it. They want me to be the representative to share their existence and that they are in fact real. They're not, this is not imaginary, or this isn't fake photography. People ask me, well, where do you capture this? Well, here's the original phone. The one I'm talking on right now is my other phone. They're just regular phones. This is an iPhone. And the one I'm on right now is a Samsung. There's no setup. There's no gimmick. And I've had people actually look at my phone, and I said, well, if you can find something on it that's causing this, feel free and show me. I'm open.
Right. And Soba is always asking some questions. Sober to Fitness. How do you know they are around? Is the question.
Again, I can feel them. I get electricity on my arm. I get literally touched, where I like a little kid wanting attention. Daddy, daddy, daddy. How little children will bug you, and until you say, what do you want? It's the same thing. It's that's one. The other thing is I see their light. So when you look up and you see like a star in the sky, I can see that light with my eyes with them. So they'll flash me a couple of times, or I can see them walk by, and when that happens, I start filming right away. So one or two things. I'm either being touched, I feel their frequency, or I see their light.
Interesting. And it's good we have these questions. It helps clarify things.
Yes, absolutely.
That's another good picture. What's that?
Ferry. That's a ferry.
The ferry, you can see like it looks like the outer edge looks lighter pink. Is that the ferry's
Wings.
what do we call wings?
Yeah, those are the wings. It almost has like little feet.
Okay. And when you see the ferry, which you did, was it close to the camera? How far away was the ferry?
I didn't. I could see with my eyes. It was literally within arm's reach. So
Really?
if I put my arm out, I could have touched it.
Really interesting. And
Yes.
And you gotta know, folks, Enlightened is an amazing person. He has documentation and contact with higher vibrational beings, including the fairies. Correct?
Yes. Here's my space father, who came to visit me. I call him my space dad. He came to me through the closet, and when I saw him, I said, "Don't leave. Let me take a picture of you or film you." There he is, right there.
He's up in that corner of light, that light that's in
That's
between
him
the bottom.
right there.
Mm-hmm. So were you able to slow him down? Not physically, but in the camera. Can you tell us what he looked like?
Well, I can see him.
Well,
He's looking.
he's right there. That's what he looks like right there.
He's looking sideways.
Oh yeah, okay. I see it now. I see the face and the eyes, like a human
There's
face.
the
right
nose.
there.
Right here.
Oh yeah, I wasn't
here.
looking. I was looking at the
There's
wrong
nose.
part.
You can see his neck. His neck is at the bottom here. His face goes from up here, and then go to the other side. And he has a nose just like us.
Yeah.
He has a mouth, and he has a
He
neck.
has eyes. He looks very human. I mean, there's a little bit of graininess because that's what cameras do. They do
Well,
have
that's the
graininess.
frequency. Yeah, that's the frequency and vibrations that you're seeing.
Wow, that's amazing. So, folks, you can see right there, which I didn't notice at first until I looked, the two human
Yeah, it
eyes,
takes
the
a
nose,
minute. It
and
takes
the
a
mouth.
minute for the
It's
eyes
there.
to adjust.
That's
Yep.
an amazing capture. Wow.
Let me show you the three ETs that came into that same room.
I can't wait to see this.
Yeah, let me find it. It's pretty cool. I call it. I'm surprised because TikTok blocked a few of my videos like this. So there's a few things I wasn't allowed to actually post.
Yeah, because they don't want you to.
This one came through though. Let's see if I can find it. It's really cool. I call it. They're in cadence. It's really interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second.
Take your time, man. You're watching Encounters, and by the way, we've had 3,400 people watch the show since the last 2 hours and 33 minutes. Thank you. Just to let you know. Hey, Lizzie, good to see you, sister. Good to see you.
So I heard a story when Chief was traveling, and he never lets anybody drive. He's always driving, and he tells Mark, he's like, hey, drive for a bit. So Mark starts driving, and he's like he's looking out his window, and he's got his phone, and then he finally goes, snap, takes a picture on his phone. Clear as day, because when it was daytime and it was clear, but a silver disc ship. You can see the definition of the ship in the photo. And he posted it later on Facebook, and I can't find it. I've been looking for that photo. That when he took that, because it was a couple years ago. Well, right before he passed, maybe a year before he passed, he took that, and I was like, it reminded me of Mount Shasta. Like Mount Shasta, we're taking pictures and everybody's like that, and there's orbs everywhere, right? My friend Cliff is taking the pictures, and he's like, oh, there's orbs everywhere. He's like, take a picture of me. And I was like, yeah, okay. So we're taking pictures of him, and then he's like, there's no orbs in my picture. And we're like, well, here, touch your camera again, put that energy the energy that we were putting into it, and then go on the other side. I'll take the picture, and then I took a picture of him, and then there was orbs all around him.
Yeah,
that's cool. Okay, so here I'll tell everybody. Oh, it's bright. Okay, I write what it says. So read that first, and then I'll play it.
I can't read it.
Okay. It says 3 ETs visiting me like soldiers in cadence. Here we go. Remember cadence.
Oh wow, look at all that.
They're in cadence.
That's
Wow.
amazing.
Well,
Kimberly alike is saying, do you ever feel scared?
No more fear.
No more fear, he says, Kimberly. No more fear.
No, no, I'm fully protected. So because I
Yeah.
know I'm fully protected, I know my chakras are fully activated. I've
Mm-hmm.
had a Kundalini awakening. I know
Mm-hmm.
where I am, who I am, and what is within me. And I just
Now,
share.
yeah.
All I do is I share my experiences. I don't claim anything. I don't want people to say, "Oh, look at me! Look, I can do all these
Right.
neat things." It's all because of the journey I've been on. It's all because
Yeah.
I've cleansed my temple completely that these
Yeah.
things are happening.
And I'm being conscious of people that are loving the show here. Why Sober for Fitness says in their question, why are they so small like an orb? And Captain Glasgow says, wow, so many of them. But the question is, can you explain why so many small like an orb? That question.
Yeah, in the unseen world, remember, there's no time, there's no space. What we define as small and big in R3, 4D density has
Mm-hmm.
nothing to do with the unseen world. There's no delineation of I'm black or white or size. I have pictures of beings on here. I'll show that are riding that are in a craft, a full craft. You can see the full being. He even has what I call a Go camera on his head. It
Yeah.
looks like a Go camera. So for linear time and space is completely different in
Mm-hmm.
the unseen world. So what we perceive as being small could actually be a vessel that's as big as the universe, and I can prove that.
I would love to now. I want to see the picture of the spaceship and the beings.
Yes, here we go.
I can't wait to see this.
I thought I sent you this before.
You might have, but let's see it again. I probably have
Okay.
it
Yeah,
somewhere
yeah,
in
yeah.
my.
No problem. I hope it's on this phone. Hopefully, it's not on that phone. It's beautiful. It's actually a
Yeah.
lot of people actually didn't see the being when I was showing it. I said, no, take a look at the GoPro camera on top of his helmet. And they started laughing, and it really does look like a GoPro camera. I don't know what it is. Here we go. Here we go. There he is. Now that thing on top, look, he's literally facing. His head is. You're seeing a side view. So picture
Right.
somebody sitting and they're looking forward. So what you're seeing is him looking forward. On top, I call that
Yeah.
the Go camera.
You know, I can see. I see like a human face facing up with a nose, the outlining of a face sideways. It looks to be either a helmet or something above them.
Yes.
Am I correct about that?
Yes, and then on top looks like some kind of device.
Yeah, definitely.
Let me show you the another picture that I have of it.
Mhm.
This is maybe a little bit better. I know a lot of these are real fuzzy. People, well, why is it so fuzzy? Because of the frequencies and vibrations.
Mhm.
Maybe I don't have it on this. I have two of the pictures on this one. I don't know if I have it
Yeah.
on this. But
Interesting.
yeah, here's a beautiful being that's sitting on the couch inside the restaurant.
I love the music you use for this. So the being there is the right there. You can see the being in the middle, and that's in a restaurant.
Yeah, that's sitting on the couch right next to me.
And in the restaurant that you got this recorded, are there other people in the restaurant, or are you just the one there with the being?
At that time, it was just me.
Okay, interesting,
So there's so much
amazing.
that goes where. No matter where I go, a
Yeah,
lot of things happen. It doesn't matter where I'm at.
wow, this is amazing. Beautiful. I can't believe it's almost 2 in the morning here, but I couldn't.
Yes.
There's no way I could go off. I'm going to be sleeping in the living room here tonight, so I don't want to wake up the other half of my life, and I'm going to be respectful
Uh,
and sleep in the living room. Because if I go in at 2 in the morning, I will wake somebody up.
don't want to do that.
So I don't want to do that. But I just want to thank Eddie from the Star Knowledge podcast, the Enlightened, who has been a real part of this show in such a beautiful way, and a real good friend in the short time I've known him. Like I say, it's almost like I've met him and known him from a star level of consciousness for millions of years. And the same thing with Eddie. It's the same thing that happened with Eddie and some of the other people I've met here. But I want to thank you all for being here. I want to thank you all for your gifts, loving our show. Thank you. You all know who you are. And it's just a beautiful thing to have all of you finding the show. We're new. We're on usually at 11 o'clock Eastern. And we've been pretty much consistent about nightly being on here. There are times when I need to take a break to re-energize my energy. It takes a lot to put a show on. If you don't realize it, it takes a lot more than just getting on the camera. It comes out with interaction, how to communicate with people, multitask with people. There's a lot to my end of it here. I'm only one person doing it. I don't have a full staff here. I do the whole thing myself. So I want to thank the Enlightened and Star Knowledge. Thank you all for being here. And please, thank you for sharing your insights and your information, your videos. I appreciate that so much.
As soon as I get
Okay.
the bar, I'll message you as soon as I have it. So then, and then you can tell me when the next show is, and then I'll come on so I can show everyone the bar.
And I'll give you my address to send me the bar over. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
You can have the
Commander, can
I'll
you
send
tell
you
your
a-
audience they can DM me? Somebody asked if they can DM me. Yes.
people in the audience. You can DM the Enlightened. I'm going to translate his extraterrestrial language in English for you. You can DM the Enlightened. I want to repeat this again in translation. DM the Enlightened here on what they call TicTok on Earth. You can DM him. Does that work?
Bless
Did I
you.
translate that good enough?
Bless you.
Yeah, I'm a multi-dimensional translator. What can I tell you?
Okay.
All right, folks. I love you all. Please, we got almost 200,000, 400 likes. We have 3,600 people over 2 hours and 43 minutes. So we're gonna call it a night. We're gonna have another great show tomorrow night. If you've never talked on my show or come on it, you know that you don't have to be afraid to come forward, be who you are. You get treated like a beautiful person. I never talk down to anybody. I always want to know that we're all equals together in this thing. I just happen to be the person on the TV show Encounters, but I'm never better or worse. I am with you. You are me. We are with each other. All right, brothers and sisters. All right, take care, everybody. Be well.